be right.
What would Socrates say to that?
It tickles my fancy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Goosies.
I don't have hair.
Oof.
You got Marcos.
That's not. No, that's not.
Wait.
Yeah,
That's true. You do got me. Get over here, Marcus. Let me look at you.
They
don't want it.
Tobin and Leroy, ready to deploy. Had to hit it with a little journalism, but that was a decoy. But I had about me, boy. Okay, Leroy and Tobin, hold to the show, man. Still in the stars with the show, and till then his half moon open. Sometimes go taste like a snowman. No proof I'm alive by the motor. No proof. Like I always wanted him, I never hated him, I never traded him, and if I did, I never ever. You never know what is a star like under the city, the driver's side floor. Just get large, so many more. 10 in the more, never a bar. 8, 10 in the more, 2 to the peak. Nothing to you, but it's something to me. Handsome as ever, and cute as could be. You can watch us on YouTube with view for free. Ay. This one time for the Twitch. This one time for the text. This one time for the phone line. Whole time wonder what they gonna do next.
You know, I just wish you guys would stop quibbling.
Morning, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Another week is upon us. Hello, Leroy.
What's up? What's up?
Are we bothering you? I didn't mean to.
No.
Bothering you there?
Jeez. Sorry. So I was highfalutin this past weekend.
Oh,
I had a meal with a wine tasting.
Wow.
We all know
Not
a
one
big
guy.
fan of wine, right?
But now you're a wine guy.
And so the sommelier
Hmm.
was talking about notes and all this. And I'm sitting next to the guy, Raj, who they nicknamed Bruno Mars, but I call him 24 Karat. And
do you want to give some context to that? Is it because he looks like Bruno Mars? Does he like the yayo? I mean, does he make the music?
He looks like Bruno Mars.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yep.
But taller. So
Okay.
I just call him 24 Karat. And he's sitting there trying to tell me, he's shaking, and he goes, yes, I can feel that. I'm like, no, you can't. Stop. Y'all faking it. Then we got all the way through like 4 wines. It wasn't, I was like, no, okay, this one's better. I like this one better than this one. Going through the process.
Did you drink the wine or did you spit it back out? Some
No.
don't even...
I tasted all of them. I tried to do the thing that everybody else was doing. I was trying to taste it and all the good stuff. Next time, turn your mic on. Can you hear me? Anyone? I think everybody can hear me, but nobody can hear Tobin. Yeah, okay. All right. So I'll talk and I'll finish telling my story. So I had all these wines, right? And I'm tasting them and I'm not really feeling it. So then we get to the final wine. We get to the final wine, and it was called 100 Acres. And the guy next to me said these words: if you're not going to drink it, don't get any. It's very expensive. And I'm like, then why invite me to the wine tasting? You know how I feel about it. Now, the food was great too. Like, we had lobster and steak and all kinds of stuff. They kind of lost me with the 1 second. Hello. I'm doing the show on Twitch. So, okay, I'm back. So here's the deal. Something happened at the studio. So it's with it's with the computer there. So basically I'm on the phone with them, and I'll finish telling you my story. So again, we got this fancy wine, and we do the little thing with it after the food. And keep in mind, every time we had like 5 different wines, from the appetizer to the salad to whatever. They explained how this wine pairs well with this. So I'm sitting there and I'm feeling pretty good until they bring out the salad, and there's grilled peaches on the top. And he starts talking about how the peaches, eat the peach and then take a sip of the wine. It pairs well together. And I'm like, I'm not eating no grilled peach. So that was, I was Joe versus the volcano there, because I wasn't that fancy. No, I didn't order the salad, silly sauce. Did not order it. Everything was made, and the whole meal was based around the wines and how you taste the wine with certain foods. And he was telling me about, he was talking about where they came from and whatever. You're right. I couldn't pretend. I tried to, but then I started thinking, the guy that I was sitting next to, he was talking And he was talking about how he's into wine. And I'm thinking, he lying. He lying. He like and so we fast forward 3 or 4 wines. I only finished one other wine that I thought was pretty good. The food was great. Oh my goodness, the food was awesome. And then we go to the final wine. And it was called 100 Acres. He talked about the guy and how he bought this land and how he made it. And this is Napa Valley. So if it was, Italian wine or whatever, it's going to cost $1 million in about 2 days. But this is Napa Valley. He was talking about how the soil and all this. And I'm like, all right, it's still wine, right? Sipped on this wine. I was like, I got to tell you, this wine is delicious. I was like, but here's the problem. That wine is $1,500, $2,000 a bottle. And you only got one little, because it was a whole table. And I'm like, damn, you can't get into it like this. So I'm not a wine drinker still. Although I have had a wine that I enjoyed. I was like, ooh, I can get this back. I can get this wine to Big Spoon and we can have ourselves a good time, right? Nope. That ain't happening. There ain't nothing worth $1,500 to just drink away.
Bum, bum. 15 minutes of heat here for you on 560 WQAM, brought to you by Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the #1 Kia dealer in all of Florida. Get the star treatment we want to see in a Hollywood Kia. Visit them online at hollywoodkia.com.
Yeah. Welcome back to the show.
Yeah.
I've been doing show the whole break.
I mean, yes, just for our viewers. Yes, you have. Not for our radio audience. Nobody heard you.
I know.
But it was, but we appreciate you, even though I told you to go to break just so we could fix things. But very selfish of you.
Hey, we good.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah.
All right. The Heat, they lose over the weekend. They fell to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't. So I was driving over and was eating at the time of the game. And I was thinking to myself, oh, they're going to do this. Because I wasn't watching firsthand. I was kind of just following. There's a big difference in following and watching.
Understood. Yeah. If you have a game,
you can see the crash when you watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know what is really going on when you're following. And so I'm like, oh my goodness. What the hell just happened?
Yeah.
And then overtime happened. Nobody couldn't score but the other team.
Overtime. I mean, like they had a 7-point lead with like 3 minutes left. And then typical Heat behavior. They're like, how do we blow this?
Right.
And your favorite happened, which is Erik Spoelstra decided, you know how we just defend Brook Lopez?
Little guys.
7'1" guy being on the bench.
Right. So my question is this. When I'm watching games, is it me or does everybody feel like the team that did the most to tie the game is usually the team that goes into the overtime with momentum?
I don't know, dude. That's ridiculous.
It just always seems that way. Like if you come back from a 4 or 5 point deficit with a minute left and then go into overtime, that you kind of can.
I would probably think so. Like one would think naturally the team that has the momentum is probably going to continue to play better, but I don't know if that's always the case. I have no idea how do I even prove that?
I don't know. I asked you, I didn't say if it was fact. I said, does it feel like the team that makes this great comeback to
Sometimes
tie
you
the
ask
game.
impossible questions, though. You would agree. Like you would have like sports
That's
questions.
not an impossible question.
Kind
I'm
of
just
is, though.
like,
Kind
we're
of
all
is.
sports fans. I'm just trying to get, does that, do you get that feeling when you see a game in the sport that goes into overtime that normally the team with the momentum?
One
right?
would think. Yeah, I would
Okay.
think so.
Okay, that's
I would
it.
think so.
It wasn't a factual statement.
But
or
like not,
anything
but
else.
like the Heat had the momentum out of overtime, and then they didn't. Like then it flipped. So it's kind of a weird. I don't know what the rules are.
Well,
there.
because I'm saying that Milwaukee went on this charge to tie the game,
Mhm.
right? At the end of it. So when they go into the playoffs, when they go into the overtime, I'm just thinking the Heat got to turn it around to win because they haven't been playing well the last couple of minutes.
I think fouling in intangibles for a 3-point shot, that's not good. And then Brooke Lopez being like, "Ooh, look, 6'8" guys, easy scores."
You know what's interesting? I actually found an answer to Leroy's question.
Did you?
I was like, how the hell do I even ask this on Google? But
hold on, but your Googling
that's true. Hey,
is very shady.
That is, you know what?
Your Googling has been very questionable.
This could be a lie. Now that I think about it.
Like you told us the biggest comeback
Whoa.
of all time was 9 points.
And I stand by that.
Okay.
Okay, so potentially this could be a lie, but they cited a doctor who could be a fake doctor, but a study by people who could potentially be fake analyzed 11 NBA seasons and found that found that teams that came back to tie the game in the fourth quarter did not win more often in overtime than their opponents.
Okay.
So
so it was just it's even Steven?
Yeah, apparently,
or it's less.
And
then what's the comeback? Like what's the threshold? Does it have to be a clutch?
Wait
game?
a minute. -1 for asking the same ridiculous questions I ask and not having nobody get mad at
I
me.
said, no. Hold on. Don't be answers guy and then be like, well, I don't have the answers. Like he interrupted us saying, I have an answer.
Don't have all the answers.
Hey, -1 for that right there. You ask a ridiculous ass question.
It's not a ridiculous question.
He just got mad at me.
Hold on. You started the segment with a ridiculous question.
Yes.
He comes up here with his little webbed hand. He's like, I have the answer.
I still have it.
But he doesn't really have the answer.
I totally have the answer.
I don't think you do.
Look, what do you want? I got all okay. I have a table in front of me, which is legit because now we're on Science Direct.
If there's one thing I don't trust you, it's reading a graph.
No.
It's in English. All right. Favorite.
What? Did he just say
It's
the
not
graph is in English?
There's not even
Hey,
a
can I just
no,
say,
I thought it was an emoji.
can I just say this?
Yeah.
Let's leave this conversation because once you just said the graph was in English, that means you have no idea what you're reading. None.
No, it's totally
Zero.
I have this. Giannis. He's good.
He is good.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
strong.
Too good. Tall.
Strong. Tall.
Well, look, the graph says that.
Oh, it says that?
Big.
The Heat. I just got to look. Here's the thing. I think Spo. I don't mean to always come back to Spo because obviously he's a coaching genius. He tries to go to the slow-mo well a little too much. He's gotten a little too in love with the slow-mo well.
Hey.
It's not that I don't like a little slow-mo in my life.
You think Chris Quinn said, Spo, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. And he's got his hand covered with his paper, because he don't want nobody else to hear this. Spo, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you think you can guard Giannis and that big-ass twin with a guy nicknamed Slow-Mo asking for a friend?
Spo's just like savvy. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Look, in fairness,
you know what? His hairline is gonna be farther back in his head for everybody blowing by him.
Look, in fairness to Slow-Mo, he did give him the lead with free throws, but then he missed it at the end.
I mean, how quick were they responding? Like all I kept seeing was, oh, he take a lead. Whoop, Brooke Lopez.
Yeah,
he
it was
take
back
a lead.
and forth.
Giannis. They were going right down the. Can we get a little bit of resistance?
I know he was in foul trouble for a lot of the game, but I'd really just like, if we're going to have a season where we have a losing record, I'd really like the 7'1" kid to close out games. Silly me, I know, untrained eye. I'm selfish. I'm a bum, but I'd really like the rookie to close out the games.
You know what I don't have to be a genius, or I don't have to be a coaching guru to know one thing. Milwaukee was killing us with tall guys, and we didn't have our tall guys on.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what I would have said. Hey, Khalil, this is the time. You either do or you don't, but use up all your fouls.
Cody
Make
says
sure they don't.
Ware was getting cooked all game. I understand, but
So
Cody, he was getting bullied by Giannis. And I don't know, call me crazy, but what are we doing? Like, we're sitting here and we're talking about the difference between the 9-10. Get the kid out there once you feel it's an appropriate time. You just had him out there. Yeah, he got called a pigeon, and I still don't know what that means. But he got called a pigeon, and they lost to John Morant. Good learning lesson for him. Get his ass back out there and have him learn something. I don't understand. You are out here. Spo is out here, and he's trying to squeeze every last drop out of slow-mo that there is. And look, to be fair, it's been very positive. I don't want no slow-mo, but there comes a point where you got to put the slow-mo away.
we need somebody maybe a little bit more fleet of foot,
A little taller.
even though he may not, be able to stay in front. I would at least at some point, here's what I say. When is the right time to get these reps so he knows how to be better in those situations? Because it ain't working in the Heat building, not on game day. You need to go against Giannis and Brook Lopez and all these big dudes to learn how to play against them.
Gaffman says, Tobin, the Heat want to get in the playoffs where getting playing time in winning time is situation for now. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're in the play-in. You're going to be in the play-in. There's no more, 8, 9. You're probably going to end up in the 9-10. Like, most likely. Most likely. This isn't situational. Get his ass out there, because you want to know something? What you should do is get his ass ready to go up against those Twin Towers in Cleveland. And I don't know what him sitting on his cheeks is going to do for that. It's been our biggest issue all year.
Yep.
I don't understand it. And also, I don't understand it. So, please, I'm not against slow-mo being out there. I'm just saying there has to be a time, especially when there's a giant ostrich out there getting to the basket willy-nilly. I would like to have another option. That's just me. I understand Giannis is very tough, and he fed him 3 fouls. That being said, let him, once time pertains, to go back out there and give it another shot.
Agreed.
That's it.
Which is what we've been arguing about all year. Like, you see moments where Khalil looks like he's got his footing and he's playing well. But if you want consistency, you can't play him erratically. He's got to fight through some of those struggles that he has in the game, because guess what? Everybody else on the team has been struggling at times. Hence the 10-game losing streak. Hence the giving up all the third and fourth quarter losses.
Miami
the whole team has been. So why wouldn't you put him in these situations to help him be better in the future? And by the way, Jordo says, Ware was +5, Anderson was -11.
I'm not even saying that Slow-Mo played bad, because I don't think that he did play bad. I'm just saying you could have Slow-Mo out there with them both. I don't care. But I don't understand that. Like, at the end of the game, a little deterrent at the rim for the tall guy, because you've already worn Bam down, because Bam is trying to slow down Giannis, which you didn't really slow down Giannis.
Correct.
But you're trying to make him work, right? Like, Bam's going to be on Giannis at the end, where Giannis surprisingly took a fadeaway jumper. Don't really understand that one, but whatever. He ended up winning anyway. Just needed extra 5 minutes. But I don't know. Call me crazy. I think that we, have the tall guy out there. Please. Anyway.
I don't know. I just think we've been fighting this fight, Tobin, all year. We've been fighting this fight. Like, and I don't, maybe it's something that, because sometimes young players don't have the right mentality, right? Maybe he pouts, or maybe the Whiteside thing.
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does either.
I think he does things that are young. I think he does.
Right, but how do you stop? How do you stop doing young things? Repetition.
One would think.
Yeah,
one would think, and especially look, if it's not this isn't like a Jaime situation where Jaime looks lost out there. I don't think Ware looks lost out there. I think he makes some young mistakes. Have him close it out. The Heat, they're back at it tonight, though. They take on the Philadelphia 76ers, who have lost 11 in a row.
They ain't even trying. They quit trying. Yep. Is it home?
It's home. Boots on the ground.
Your boots on the ground?
Boots on the ground tonight.
Boy. How quick can you name 5 when you get there and see them practicing? How soon will you be able to name 5 players from the Sixers?
I know they have Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes is scoring all their points right now. I don't. Is he healthy still? They got Yabusele from the Olympics.
Sheesh. Yabusele. Hey, Yabusele. I'm a wait until after Lent.
Oh.
Hey, you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying it because
Is Quentin Grimes hurt, Marcos?
No, he
played the last game.
Yeah, as of 2 days ago, he played against the Timberwolves, put up 28.
All right, so him, Yabusele. Who else they got? Who's healthy? Maxey's out. Lowry's out. They traded Caleb Martin.
Oh, no. I'm not reading that, Florida man. But I'm going to just say this.
Dade South says that Leroy is circumventing.
No, I'm not. I did not say nothing.
You can't. You said you. I don't know. That is a good point. If you're thinking it in your heart.
I wasn't thinking it. I literally said there's some things that could be said, but because it's Lent, I'm not even. Nope.
What? I don't know. I got no more Sixers for you. I'm blanking.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Well,
we've
honestly,
we've been watching this basketball all year.
Who were their starters last game?
Oof. All right, we have, you said Yabusele and Quentin Grimes. We already got those out of the way, right?
Yep.
Other than that, you can add in 32 minutes from Jared Butler.
I would have never gotten that.
Yeah, plus 15, though. Pretty good. 16 points for him. Adam Bona, as we all know, our boy Adam Bona put up 24.
Oh, yeah, he played in the last game against the Heat. I remember that name.
24 minutes, 4 points for him.
Wow.
Oh, you know what? You will remember this man, 38 minutes, Lonnie Walker.
Lonnie Walker's on the Sixers?
Yeah, still playing? He's been around for a minute, right?
Yeah. He played the most minutes, former Kane, but did not start.
I'm looking at the lineup right now. Wow.
Justin Edwards
never would have gotten
the
that.
last starter, yeah. On the bench, though, I think Marcus Bagley. That sounds vaguely familiar.
No, I think you're thinking.
No, you might be thinking about the other Bagley.
You're thinking about former number 2 pick Marvin Bagley.
So is there no relation?
I don't know. There could be a relation. I'm not saying there's not a relation.
But you're right. I was thinking of the wrong one. So with that being said, no, there's maybe once even reviewing the
Jalen Hood Schifino, who
was,
I think, wasn't he the Lakers' first round pick 2 years ago?
Hood Schifino.
Man.
Yeah, he was the first round.
Yeah, he was taken right after Jaquez or right before Jaquez.
Yeah, pick number 17.
Yeesh. Hey, so
that's up on him quickly, huh?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should consider the same. Is that what you're
So,
saying?
when I think about Khalil, I want to get back to this for like a quick
Yes.
hot second. When I watch Cleveland play, they got two big dudes, but one of them's always in foul trouble, and they just keep putting him out there. I mean, same thing with Memphis. Jaren Jackson, oh my goodness, he not selling himself short. He getting his. And they kind of develop him through all that, right? You can't go, son, I can't play you if you keep getting fouls. I'm a big. That's what I do.
Well, it's also unfair because it's like you have Bam as like your guy next to you who never fouls. And it's like,
Right.
Bam never fouls. They all, they're like always going to like, well, Bam didn't do it.
Oh, what did you, Bam? Did you do it? I'm sick of this guy.
Mr. Perfect.
Can't keep up with him. Man.
Plays so hard and he never fouls.
All he does is
And
dominoes.
he takes on guys way bigger than him all the time. It's like,
I don't know. I just think sometimes Khalil is a deterrent.
of course he is.
And I think that is, and I think you can't expect Khalil to play like Bam. Bam's awesome at playing defense against everybody. Khalil's not. But I would say the way he played Ja Morant at the end of that game, you look at it and say, okay, so maybe he can move his feet a little bit. Maybe he can, let's work on that, right? Because you see the promise in his ability to stay in front of a guy who's like a water bug. You see it. So why can't we just coach that up?
I will say, speaking of Bam, the one thing that I should mention from him, because he did have a very good game. He had a very good game. Not as strong as second half because he came out guns blazing. I mean, if I'm going to excuse machine for him, I kind of think he got worn down because they played him a lot of minutes. He's the only guy who can guard Giannis. And then he got a couple of buckets in overtime. He couldn't hold on. But this 3-point shot for Bam. Wider base, dude. I'm telling you right now. Wider base.
Okay.
Wider base.
Wider base,
Wider
Bam.
base.
I'm
Wider
telling
base.
you right now, it's a thing. It's a thing, and also it's a thing. And I think tonight, do you want me to ask or not?
I kind of do.
Do you want me to ask? Water base?
Okay, so are you going to mention?
What if I
wider
ask one of the
base?
coaches? If I don't ask him because I don't want to get in his head.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What if I just go, got a water base?
Yeah. That's probably best, right? Because then no one can accuse you of being a mush.
Right. I don't want to be accused of. You guys have already accused me of.
Oh no. Not
burning down
you.
the
Wait.
Heat franchise with the Pat
Well,
Riley question.
well.
You have not been accused of being a mush. You have been convicted and tried
That's not fair.
as a mush. And
How?
we have brought several situations to the judge, and he threw the book at you. So don't say accused mush. You have been convicted, and you're a known. If mush was a felony, your ass would be in jail.
What if this Warriors pick ends up getting us a whale?
What if
back? If the Warriors pick ends up getting us a whale, am I back?
No.
Why?
Oh.
Because wait, even with all of your mushness, you still were the only one saying I would have paid Jimmy.
That's right.
And guess what? Those 11 points or 14 points he's scoring with wouldn't have helped this team that damn much. They needed scoring.
They got killed yesterday by the Rockets.
You know why?
But they did beat the
that's a team that runs up and down, just run, and plays incredible defense.
they did beat the Lakers.
Yep.
And then
So-
the Lakers stomped on OKC. This West, we'll close out 50 minutes. This West race right now. Oh my God.
There's
It's-
like 5 teams with the same record, and now you start doing there's so many. I was watching SportsCenter this morning.
Yep.
And Wendy was saying the team in 4th is actually in 7th place.
Yep.
They're not in 4th because the tiebreakers, they don't have tiebreaker over anybody.
Well, yeah, your tiebreak. I think it's head to head amongst everybody if they finish with the same record.
Right.
I think that's how it works. But right now, the Nuggets, Clippers, Warriors, and Timberwolves all have 32 losses, and the Grizzlies all have 32 losses. Nuggets are up a half game because they have 47 wins instead of 46.
Right, but they're not,
But they've
because
lost
they don't have the
14.
tie break against anybody. So as soon as somebody else wins a game, they're gonna fall all the way down.
Warriors could still fall in the play-in. They have the Suns. They have who else do they have? The Spurs. They should win that. Trailblazers have been frisky, and then the Clippers, who are good. All right. Keep an eye
Hey,
on.
is that a shock?
Is
That
what it's-
when the Clippers got rid of Paul George, we were thinking, oh, they're just resetting. Like they're trying to, but they've been pretty good.
They've been very good. They've been
Yeah.
very good.
So is that surprising to you? Because it is to me. Because
I
once they start making trades, you're thinking, oh, they're just,
I think the guy who's probably surprised me the most with how dominant he's been, especially against the Heat in the game, is Zubac. Zubac's
Oh
been a
my
monster.
goodness. He's a moose.
Still don't know his first name. I know it's an I something, Igor, Ivaka, something. It's Zubac. You know, he might as well be like Ichiro. One name.
Oh man. Avaka?
Yeah, it's just Zubac.
Zubac.
Just Zubac, dude.
Yeah.
Take a break. Back after this.
Beginning of the week.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM.
Somebody just told us the Bagleys are brothers.
Makes sense.
Yeah, not a common last name.
Thanks, the effing man with two N's at the end.
Wow. I've heard of the main man. I haven't heard of the effing man.
Rawchild says Tobin is the Zubac of radio. Thank you.
Thank you. That's good.
just bullying his way into the paint. Up, Smeathan. Jackass.
Let's get to the road to repeat here. Brought to us by our friends over at Celsius. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out. When it's game time, make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink of
your Florida Panthers.
Been a bumpy road to repeat right now.
Oh, my goodness. Wait. Hey. So, I was preparing for the game because that was going to be like my ride home.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Turn on the TV, turn on the radio, put it on my car. And then I hear these words. Here's who's out for the Panthers.
Oof.
I'm like, holy smokes.
Yep, they had a very big graphic for it. Yesterday was a national TV game. And they put on it Matthew Tkachuk out with the groin, Aaron Ekblad suspended, Dmitry Kulikov upper body, Nico Sturm upper body, Alexander Barkov upper body, and then Paul Maurice just basically said to the end of the road trip, you know what? Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart, Gustav Forsling, just sit. We'll play some young guys up from the checkers.
Do you feel like they're kind of like, you know what? It doesn't matter. As long as we get in, we'll be fine.
Well,
I think they really need to get healthy.
They need to get healthy. I think that they're ending basically with all home games and one Tampa game. I think that they were done with this road trip. I think
they've had some brutal road trips about it, and very rarely, like, you've never heard Spo say this, but very rarely do you hear a coach talk about the toll that is putting on his players with the back-to-backs on the road and the long road trips and stuff like that. And he's been kind of saying that all year, that my guys are giving effort. We're just worn down. He said that a number of times. So I'm just kind of sitting back and like, you know,
it's not
everybody to be healthy.
But that, you know, it's also they haven't won a game in regulation in almost 3 weeks.
Right.
You know, like so yes,
right.
Banged up, but also have blown some games.
Yeah.
Have not been able to close games out in typical Panthers fashion. And honestly, like can't score. Like that's the other thing is that some of it I think is bad luck. Like I think, you know, you looked at like Saturday's game and I mean, holy hell. I mean, it
was a fire. It was a firestorm in front of the net. None of them would go in.
Anton Forsberg got a 40 save shutout against them. And they lose a game. Bob only sees 21 shots. They lose 19 saves. They lose 3-0. So, you know, like there is a little bit of they can't seem to bang in pucks right now. Part of it is they're having to mix lines together. They're trying to mix together their power play. They don't have guys in there. You know, I guess the only positive about it is like Sam Miskevich is getting a ton of experience out here. He seems like he's been playing red hot, but you know, they really haven't gotten Marchand going either. It's been a rough one, man. It's been a rough go of it. They got a big one coming up tomorrow against the Leafs. If they're going to have any late rally, although it seems pretty, I think there's 6 back right now with 5 to play. Not impossible, but it's it would take a hell of a run to make this happen and Toronto falling off. Marcos, what did you put out here?
I'm scared to say anything now because of Google, but I promise I'm doing my best to look it up. If this is correct, which I believe it is, Panthers have traveled the second most miles this season. Once the season's said and done, they should be somewhere around 51,000 miles.
Does that include Finland?
I believe so. Yes, it does include Finland from what I saw in the article. And the only other team to do more is the Dallas Stars.
And they also went to Finland.
That's probably why. Let's see, and their
And
record
what's
is
Dallas Stars' record?
50-22 at the moment.
Ooh.
50-22-5.
And what's the Panthers?
44, 29, and 4.
Right. All right.
It's been a rough go of it. It's like if
not to mention you're just coming off of a 7-game finals.
Yep.
Yeah.
True.
Well, 2 trips. I mean, they're trying to make their 3rd trip to the final. Like
right.
This is, but this is the thing with them is you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they are a champion and they have been far, and I think they deserve that. And I think that everybody who's in there, this is going to be an East that's going to be pretty tough. But I think
it still doesn't mean we can't be nervous.
Yeah. I think, and I think mostly it's with the question marks with bringing in, is everybody going to just drop out of the sky and be ready to roll? Like you would like them playing a little bit better going into it, and you'd feel better about infiltrating Kachuk and infiltrating Aaron Ekblad if you were playing a little smoother.
One of the things I appreciate about Paul Maurice, he never confuses playing well or poorly on wins and losses. And so when I hear him talk, it kind of gives me a better feeling of where the team is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because he'll tell you, I didn't like the way we did this. I didn't like the or he'll say, look, we're playing good hockey. We're just, coming up a little bit short. He'll say that, and it'll make me feel better.
The good news is this was kind of goosies. All right. One piece of good news. The Panthers did officially clinch the playoffs. So that piece of business is done. Not that it's a surprise, but they did officially do it this weekend.
And when they did it, that's when he didn't play everybody.
Matthew Tkachuk posts on Instagram soon. I was like,
oh, you can't play before the playoffs.
Well, it's just it doesn't matter.
So, what is he saying? We know this.
No. But like people, hey, was he going to be back? Is he going to be 100%? Matthew Tkachuk.
Hey, just in case you were wondering,
he's just like knock. Who's there? Me. I'm ready.
We got a newcomer, Hunter Spartan. Tobin is mac and cheese sandwich Sandwichkevich.
Is there such thing as a mac and cheese sandwich?
Hey, listen, we may be onto something with this.
I tell you what, they have those little mac and cheese balls.
Because I got to be honest.
Delicious.
Oh man.
There's this viral Chick-fil-A hack. They tell you to put the mac and cheese on the chicken sandwich. I think it's too much though.
Too much?
That's what I feel
for your arteries.
I tell you what, I did find the one with the pimento cheese tasty, and I don't like pimento cheese at all. But which what pimento cheese is famous for, right?
Oh yes, the Masters.
The Masters. They have pimento cheese sandwiches for like $2.
Yeah. This is our week, by the way, dude. We got UFC Miami week and we got Masters week.
Yep.
Yeah. Look at that. What a week.
What a week. But Matthew Tkachuk posts soon. I don't know if it was in that tone, but that's how I read it.
Yeah, but you already know the parameters of his return. So what does that mean?
Just get ready. Because I think if any Panthers fan was worried, like, oh, he's not going to be ready, he's letting you know soon. Why wouldn't that excite you?
I mean, it does, but I always thought that he was going to return for the playoffs. Panthers clinch the playoffs. The Heat clinch cheeks.
We'll take a break. Big Dolphins news over the weekend. Big. Take a break. Back after this. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tagovailoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of
Hour two of the program, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Let's get to our headlines. Brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. We got the national championship tonight between Florida and Houston. Duke blew it.
Blew it.
Blew it, dude.
Shocking.
That's enough to make Cooper Flagg's draft stock, fall to Miami.
Do you think he comes back for a second year because of that, or you think he's out of here?
The only team I would consider doing that is if it was the Wizards, because I don't. Who wants to play for that franchise?
That's bad.
Who wants to play for that franchise? But no, I think he's lock, stock, ready to go and get the hell out of Duke. It's too good. He's too good for that. But that'll get going tonight. 8:50 is what they claim for your tip-off tonight. Congratulations to UConn, the women's, the Lady Huskies, back on top.
Wasn't even close. Holy smokes.
One of the great programs in sports history, the UConn women Huskies. So I'm not a big fan of Gino Auriemma. He's a bit unctuous for my liking.
That's usually what happens with winning.
Paige, though. Paige.
Oh,
fun to watch.
Seems like the perfect player to start the Miami Soul comeback franchise with,
That's
when is
right.
expansion? Do we get expansion now?
Let's see. Like that typing?
You mean
okay. I'm getting old expansion stuff here. Golden State Valkyries is starting in
Valkyries,
right?
Really?
We'll start playing in 2025, so we have to be after that.
All right. Well,
Man, we're far.
Well, once we expand, we know we'll have Paige Bueckers make a stink, get off the Valkyries,
Yeah.
and then Asia Wilson make a stink, get off the Aces.
Wow, look at that.
What a
Just
duo.
You can take the strongest power couple in Miami. Imagine that. For a while, it was Carson Beck and Haley Cavender. We can definitely upgrade that.
Well, that didn't last very long.
Not very long at all.
That didn't last very long. Terron Armstead has officially retired from the NFL. He made his announcement this week at an event. So he has called it a career after 12 seasons, Leroy. The Dolphins now know that they are going into this year, although it seemed like they knew. They were just letting him do it at his little thingy thing. That they are going into this year with Patrick Paul as their starting left tackle. Are you nervous?
Not really. Like there's certain things he's gonna have to go through. It's unfortunate that he wasn't able to get some consistent run so that he would have more of a feel of what needs to be done or how it needs to be done. I told you what I would have did. I would have played him at left guard right next to Terron.
Yeah.
And then just kick him out. But what he would learn is how to play with a left guard. He would learn how to, attack these edge rushers and certain nuances of the position that Terron could show him because he's right next to him. And I think that's a lot of things that, there's been a lot of offensive linemen who are really talented that they've put at different positions just to get them experience, knowing that in a couple of years they're going to move out. I mean, the one I can think of is when I was in Baltimore and they drafted Jonathan Ogden. He was a left guard.
Yes.
And then they moved him out. Like, it happens. Like, some of the things that I'm talking about when it comes to these offensive linemen is nothing new. But the one thing that I can say definitively, with all these young players, the only experience that you can get is by going through some of these lumps in actual games. Like, to just say, oh, he's ready. There ain't no way in hell any of these coaches know this guy's ready for the big stage because he's never done it.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. But what I would say is there's two things. One, first of all, he better be ready, because if you're going to have another second round pick in the last 2 years that's not going to contribute to your football team, like, if you want to talk about more indictments that need to be thrown on Chris Grier, that is one of them. The second thing is, as awesome as Terron Armstead is, I am exhausted by him as a fan. And that is this guessing game about whether or not he's going to play, whether or not he's going to be able, because he's not going to practice.
So that might be something that helps the situation also with the offensive line.
I think so. I just think at some
guys
point,
practicing together.
Yeah, I just think at some point it's got to be exhausting to play the game of, can his knee dial it up for a week? And it literally was getting to the point where you're sitting here, and I appreciate him trying to put his body through it. As I've said many times, I hope Terron Armstead, somebody should have given him a golden hammock after this was all done, because I can't imagine how happy his body is that this is done, because he literally have games where his knee couldn't function anymore. But it just got exhausting from a perspective of, like, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Okay, he's out there. Is he going to be able to last? And then, now, and it just got to the point every time you got to Thanksgiving, you're like, yeah, this is over. We know.
Right.
We know it's not going to be the same for him. And it takes nothing away from his talent, but it's almost like the poster child for this 3-year span is Terron Armstead. It's like all the talent of the world, but it's built flimsy. It's like it literally can be taken away like that. And so
it's something about going into games as a coach in an organization, not knowing, especially on this team, who's going to be able to participate. I think when one of the biggest things that I've told you about offensive line is continuity. When you look at all the successful offensive lines, go look at how long they've all played together. Go look at how many snaps they got together. And that is a sign of both consistency and being able to get them and coordinate with the offensive line how you want things done, because you're teaching the same guys, that way of doing things. When you have to move guys in and out, and a lot of times it wasn't moving guys in and out for failure. It was because of injury. And you get 2 or 3 offensive linemen, and now you're shuffling, and now you're shuffling, and now you're shuffling. If this team could get 5 guys to play 15 plus games together, it's gonna look better. I'm telling you, it's gonna look better. And it's not gonna have anything to do with, oh, this guy's a Hall of Famer or this guy is this. They're gonna figure out how to play together. And I think it's something they never got an opportunity to do because of guys being in and out, hurt, and then Eichenberg.
When's his retirement announcement?
That dude is gonna play for 15 years. Because he has, I told you why. He has a skill set to where anybody is going to sign him. Now, he might not make up, $20 million a year, but everybody's going to sign him based on this fact. He can play the 3 interior positions. So somebody's always going to have a guy like that, 1 or 2 guys like that on their team. You're always going to have those guys on the team.
You use that term play very loosely.
What do you mean?
He can line up at those 3 positions. Can he play them well? Everybody showed up for T-Stead, though. You know, it wasn't a nobody shows up for his birthday party. Tua was there, Tyreek was there, Xavier Howard was there.
What a shocker!
Star-studded event.
Tua's at another party.
What do you mean,
Yet
dude?
Another party.
He was at Tortuga this weekend.
Of course he was. Tortuga.
I heard TC and Tina B said that he was in the prayer circle for Jelly Roll.
Whatever, dude. I know this guy is doing whatever he possibly can to be out and about.
You know, Jelly Roll only talks to God when he needs a favor.
Only talk to God when I need.
Hey, so but it's April, dude.
Oh, it's
Well,
April.
it's
now.
April,
It
but-
was March before. It's April now. Then it's gonna be May. Then it's gonna be June. Then
Okay,
It's
now,
April.
now hold on.
He's been living it up this.
Let me tell you why things need to get ramped up now.
Yeah, tell me, please.
Because you have mini camp the first week of May.
I'll do it.
You can't go in there, you know.
Nothing.
You got to do something by then.
He didn't look too chubby in the pictures this weekend, though. I will say he didn't look like boat Tua.
What, he switched over to the seltzer waters now?
I don't know.
And the White Claws.
Well, you were out on that beach. You're probably sweating.
Yeah,
You're probably sweating.
Yeah,
He switched from beer to White Claw.
Although you're at a Tortuga, that's prime for a rum punch.
Oh, yeah. You know, I forgot Tortuga. Like, not only was this weekend, was on Fort Lauderdale Beach. I had to go to a wedding rehearsal dinner on Fort Lauderdale Beach. Got caught in traffic. Ludacris was kind enough to sing to me.
Really?
As I was in traffic. I was like, oh, Ludacris and Tortuga.
Should I ask boots on the ground? Did Tua look fat?
Yeah, please. I need to know. I need to know because this guy has been partying it up. I've seen more
off season.
All right. It's off season.
Like,
But
wait a minute.
you
Let me ask you a question.
Camp.
Here's what I would ask. I would ask you this question.
Yeah.
What could he possibly be doing now to make you feel better about the season when it starts up in the end of July?
Whatever Zach Sealer's doing.
Zach Sealer is probably on an RV somewhere halfway around the country.
I think I saw
Yeah.
on his Instagram. He's in Maui. He's actually
Yeah.
He's in Hawaii.
Tua should be in Maui, tapping into his roots.
What?
And ready to go back to work, dude.
I'm pretty
wait.
sure Zach Sealer's.
So let me ask you this, Marcos.
Yeah.
What indication do you have that he's not working?
The fact that I don't see him working, and I see.
So that's it. If
What
he's not
indication
putting it,
do
if
you
he's
have?
not putting it up on Twitter or
Right.
Instagram, you assuming
Right.
he's not working.
It doesn't exist. What indication do you have that he is working?
Football, he's always worked.
Parties, he's always
No. Hey, if there's
Yeah.
one thing we could say about Tua, he
Yeah.
puts the work in to get better. Nobody has ever questioned his work ethic.
Last year was too much work. Got too thin.
So
which was clear.
again,
evidence he was putting in.
Marcos, again,
Yep.
I would say it's April. A lot of these guys, I'm gonna tell you, I would get
Where
up.
was March?
Wait,
Now
wait,
it's
wait.
April.
I would get up early in the morning,
Yes.
go work out, and then go golfing all day. And I did that all the way up until May. And
would
everybody was
actually
like, what is Leroy doing? What is he? He's
Yeah.
working out. Like, I don't care if I got to get myself ready. So the fact
how
that
often-
your complaint of Tua
Yeah.
being Frog Boy,
Mm-hmm.
let's just say being Frog Boy, not the Dolphins, not
Yep.
the owner, not Mike McDaniel, not his teammates, as Frog Boy. Your only complaint to Tua is, I don't know if he's working out because he's not putting it on Twitter or Instagram.
Correct.
You know how ridiculous that
There was
sounds?
a lot. I mean, like in past years, there was more Tua workout
Yeah,
material.
because he was trying to make everybody feel good about him being quarterback.
Trying to do. All I've seen him
He
this
was-
year is he's partying his ass off.
Seems like he was trying to secure that bag, and now that he has it, Leroy, I want to talk about my.
Oh, what are you saying? So without playing the game, you say he's already experiencing symptoms of fat cat syndrome.
No. I thought that when he was sleeping on the bench last game of the season, that was a
man, that
good
was bad.
indication that maybe Garfield's showing through his uniform.
He had a big plate of lasagna.
A lot of lasagna going on there at the Tua household.
Maybe that was the whole point of being next to Jelly Roll. Is
Oh,
what
man.
people were talking about.
By the way, I've never felt so bad for a dog that bit me.
What?
Yes.
A dog bit you?
Dre, well, you know, when you pet him, he like acts like a damn fool.
Yeah.
Right? If he sleep and you pet him, like he gets. But guess what?
What?
I want to tip my 40.
Whoa.
Dre's nuts.
Oh, wow.
Man.
When he was on his way back, I asked Mel, I said, hey, how's he doing? She go, listen. He was in the back going,
Yeesh.
he just been laying around. And they have him on. Wait, so he can either have the cone, and the cone is funny because he goes and rams the other dogs with it. Right? It's hilarious. Or they put the bodysuit, you know, like the horses.
Oh yeah.
He has one of those.
He's got pants on, essentially.
Yeah, he just looks like, he says, I look ridiculous. He just look up.
Oh yeah, ask Jay Fig. They like that, apparently. They love it. They love to get dressed.
No. Listen, that's not a nice little cute doggy sweater.
Yeah. Got a waist trainer on now at this point.
Took him out.
Dude, I feel so bad for him. He just laying around.
Hit him with that Bob Barker.
Oh yeah. Like at the end of every episode. By the way, guys. What?
Spayed and neutered.
Take a break here on the program. Back with more after this. Tobin and Lee here with you. So who the hell? 560 WQAM. Tua Tagovailoa hanging with Jelly Roll this weekend at Tortuga.
Yeah, I bet he is hanging with Jelly Rolls.
Hey,
I told you, I'm happy if there's Fat Tua. I'm good. Fat Tua is a healthy Tua.
I don't know. There's only one good thing that can come out of this behavior that we're seeing this man exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to forget how to throw the ball. But if there's one good thing I can see is like maybe he's becoming, because he's always been a good boy. You want to talk about good boys? Tua's been a good boy. But now it kind of seems like he's like a bleep it attitude. That he's just
I feel like he's had a little bit of that.
Yeah, but sometimes
you think he's in a situation now where he feels more comfortable with who he is and he can go about his business without having to prove anything to anybody?
I think that check helps, if I'm being honest.
Yes.
I don't think
does.
he's given himself that right based off of his play. I don't think he has the right. You know, you win a couple games, you walk around like, oh, I could do this with that check, though.
By the way, this started last year. Remember Sassy Tua, as J-Fig points out?
Yeah, he's been sassy with like the media and the clapbacks and all that. That's gone on for a couple of years, I would say. I don't really think that's anything new. We got a new guy here though, which is Party Boy Tua.
Party Boy. Now he's
Party Boy Tua is a different Tua.
He's full frat boy Tua right now.
He is living it up. You know, maybe probably didn't get to be a frat boy at Alabama with Nick Saban. You know,
he's always been the good boy, everything. But now
choir boy.
He's going through a midlife crisis. I think we're witnessing this right now.
Yeah, maybe
a bit of
those two babies are probably exhausting at home.
True.
You know,
and then he went straight to fatherhood. But now he's going through a contract. Kids are potty trained. You know,
too much Bluey in the household.
Oh,
you know, you get sick of hearing.
Oh my God! Please.
You need to go blow off some steam. You go hang out with Jelly Roll. You're right. Just had a cold sweat hit the back.
Please.
Hit the back here.
No. God, it's like crack. It really is.
Speaking of Australia, by the way, Alexander Volkanovski going to join the show in the final hour today. He is in the main event, UFC 314, Australian. He's Australian AF.
Yeah, he is.
Proud Australian.
Tough.
I saw he made an AI video on his Instagram of himself riding a kangaroo, shirtless.
That's great.
You ever see those videos? I'm not sure if they're real or photoshopped of like Putin riding a horse shirtless.
Yes,
it was him riding a kangaroo shirtless.
Putin said that actually happened.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to say no. Speaking of Putin, Alexander Ovechkin.
Oh,
Putin's a fan.
Yep.
He's now the all-time goals leader. Congratulations to Ovi. Yesterday he scored the goal, then slid on his belly like a penguin.
Got lucky.
What? 20 years.
Yeah, he's no Crosby.
I mean, that's not championships.
By the way, we haven't even acknowledged Ovechkin.
I literally just did that.
Oh, sorry.
No way.
No way.
I did it again.
No way. I need a minute.
-1.
No way, Leroy.
I was perusing at the same time. Sorry.
You can't do that, though. You can't do that. He just said he literally.
You know what the last thing I remember?
Yeah. Yeah, what's that?
Volkanovski.
Okay, which was right before it. So I understand. I understand where you think that. And then that led to AI pictures of Volkanovski on a kangaroo, which
and then what Putin on a horse.
And then that's when he just turned off. Because that's where Ovechkin happened right after that.
Yeah.
Well, look, I completely get it. Sometimes you get caught up with the perusing and you forget just
I was actually reading at the time. Tua dropped the Bluey and picked up the Johnny Walker Blue.
Oh my God.
Poor Tua, huh?
What? Like, I just said it though.
He did just say it.
I just said it.
He did just say it.
How did he not hear me say Ovechkin?
Yeah. No, I think
it had a whole.
I told you why. I started reading in the chat.
A minute.
Yeah.
And I need to know what just happened.
I was reading the chat.
What do you mean, dude? This is the second time in 3 shows that you have.
I was reading the chat. Game Boy, my memory is not bad. It's my
Well.
attention skills that sometimes slip.
Hey.
Because again, I was reading the chat
Yeah.
and then went back and he says
He got
Leroy
as
has
far, by the way, as AI Putin, and then that's when it shut off. And like literally one more sentence was Ovechkin. Just one more sentence.
Yeah.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know.
All right, I'm turning off the chat.
Thank you.
Gosh.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. But we were giving him his flowers. Although I did say he was no Sidney Crosby, which is opposite of giving him his flowers. You got to admit it was
Wait, so you went with Sidney Crosby?
Yeah, I did.
Not Wayne Gretsky.
No, because that would be expected. Sidney Crosby pisses him off.
So wait, where does Sidney Crosby fit with Wayne Gretsky?
Well, I'll get there eventually. But as soon as he gets there,
No,
I'll be
he,
like,
no, he won't.
no Kachuk.
No, he won't.
He's good. He's good.
Why are we talking about Sidney Crosby?
But he's no Matthew Kachuk.
Because he said that Ovechkin's good, but he's no Sidney Crosby.
I mean, it's kind of like it's a wins versus stats type of thing. Those two are always connected. Like that was a long time thing.
Yeah.
Sidney Crosby won all the cups. Then Ovi won the cup, and then he went party mode.
Seen that before.
You want to talk about an off-season party? Oh, when Ovechkin won the cup.
Yeah, but the only difference is he came back and had 40 goals.
Well,
Yeah, he scores goals. He's always scored goals.
what he does.
And isn't that what Gretzky did, though?
I think in my mind, but Gretzky's how many cups does Gretzky have? 5?
Yes, 5 cups, I believe.
He's the great. He has everything.
Yeah.
He has everything.
Is that the Jordan LeBron thing?
No,
No, because he has everything.
he's not. No,
Because LeBron has the stats. Jordan has the success.
Right, but that's
I
exactly
do
what.
like, but I
4
will.
cups.
But I do like how Wayne Gretzky seems like a really gracious dude in all of this. Like
Yeah.
even somebody was trying to say like, like doing the eras thing, and he goes, he's like the goaltenders are better than they've ever been. Like he gives nothing but praise to this era of hockey. Like he did that with Barkov too. Because I don't think I've ever seen a goal better than that. And I feel like I saw this week, there's already a clip of Shaq saying like Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren, he'd make them quit. Like there is a difference in how
It's weird because with Shaq said he never had problems with tall guys. It's the guys that were smaller than him that he had problems with because of when he leaned back on them. But I'm like, yeah, but here's the other thing, Shaq. What if they put you on the top of the key and took you off the dribble or shot a 3 over you? Like you got to go in and out of the paint. You ain't never had to go into the perimeter like 7-footers have to do now.
They never should have him go to the perimeter though. Never.
Right. I understand that, but would he ever be close enough to Chet and to Wemby on the other side?
I mean, if Wembanyama would grow up and stop trying to shoot threes, like, he maybe would put up even bigger numbers. Like he's trying to be like some version of Kevin Durant.
All that is great. But what I'm saying is Shaq said he would fold them up, but on the other end, you would never be close to him. They're not just going to go back to the basket against you.
I think he would fold them up.
I think he would fold them.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
really
he would
do.
fold
Especially
them up.
like first or
You don't
second
think
year
like,
Lakers.
so I'm not saying early in Shaq's career when he would run, right? But I'm talking about middle Lakers Shaq
Nah.
where he could run, but he was much bigger.
He was, but that was the most dominant Shaq. Like that run of teams was ridiculous.
Yeah, but that was Biggs played in the paint era.
I think he would have done fine, dude.
No, I'm not saying he wouldn't have defined. I'm just saying basketball is different now, and that Shaq, they would pull Shaq out to the perimeter and make him have to guard guys out on the perimeter.
Take a break here on the show. Congratulations to Alexander Ovechkin. We celebrated you like nobody else could. Leroy's game balls, game pucks, and game bums are next.
Coming you
This guy's a ball. It's time to gather around the locker room, ladies and gentlemen. And Leroy Horde will hand out his game balls and game bums when he gets here, of course. In the meanwhile, Jennifer, she's got a giveaway for you guys. J-Fig and her pup Scooby have a 4-pack of tickets every day this week to Bark at the Park when the Marlins host the Nationals on April 13th. That's a Sunday game. And it's also Scooby-Doo Day. If you guys want a chance to win, keep on listening to our show for details. You win yourself a Scooby-Doo. It's not Scooby J-Fig Scooby jersey. It's the Scooby-Doo. But maybe she could get that jersey and put it on Scooby at Bark at the Park.
I believe it's pronounced.
Are they gonna sell like Scooby snacks?
I'm sorry. No. Wait, what is it pronounced like?
Ruby Roo?
That's a point. Good Scooby.
Really? That's my best impression.
I'm
gonna make you an offer. It's terrible. Just a little bit better.
So if you guys want to go to Marlins and Nats Bark at the Park Sunday, keep listening. We'll give away that 4-pack when J-Fig arrives.
Yes.
In the meanwhile, Leroy, who gets game balls and game bums this week?
Yep. All right. Got to give a game ball to UConn, right? All year they've been kind of hanging in the weeds. Nobody thought they had a chance with, USC and UCLA and South Carolina and Tennessee and, all these teams, making a run. And they dominated the whole tournament. So, kudos to them. 12, is that their 12th title? Are they all with Gino? All 12?
So
I'm assuming so. So it was amazing. What they did to South Carolina, who was supposedly the most dominant team the last couple of years, was amazing. Just dismantled them.
All of them.
All of them. My oh no, or my game bum, goes to Duke.
Nah.
Come on, dude.
Come on, man.
Come on. And truth be told, Houston still had to make all them damn shots.
Sure did.
So it was I didn't know whether to look at it as epic fail or epic success. Because even when they stole it, they had to throw it back out, make a three. And there was a lot of things that had to happen, and they all happened at the same time. But the starting point of that was, for 2 minutes of basketball, Duke forgot how to play basketball. I mean, they couldn't get the ball in. They were dribbling all over the place. It was crazy how it happens so fast. And, we say, with the Heat, over the past year, it's been a slow, drawn-out thing, a whole quarter, right? And I would always say, hey, when is somebody going to recognize, hey, guys, we've only scored 8 points this quarter. Let's go. It happened so fast with Duke that, holy smokes.
All unraveled for him, dude.
All unraveled. And they're also game bums because they made me lose my bracket.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Tonight at 8:50 p.m. is
9:30
is Florida and Houston. This is my least favorite championship of all.
Really?
I find it weird it's on a Monday. I know the national championship sometimes on a Monday too for football. I hate it.
But they alternated because of the women.
I get it. I don't like it.
Because the women go Thursday, Saturday.
The women were in the middle.
The women go Friday, Sunday. The men go Saturday, Monday.
Yeah, I understand. I understand the schedule of all of it, but the women play at a normal time, which is in the middle of a Sunday. And the men, they're like, why don't we put it at 9 p.m. on a Monday? I'm just like, no thanks. I'm out.
But that Super Bowl is getting later and later on Sunday too.
Perhaps. But one thing I know is I'll be boots on the ground focused on the real prize, which is Heat Sixers.
Heat Sixers, you struggled to name a starting five for the 76ers.
I couldn't name a starting five. I barely named two.
You've gone some interesting games as of recent.
What do you mean?
Has it been the Hornets, the Wizards, the Sixers?
I went to the Jaw game.
Okay. No, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
I went to the Jaw game. But yes, I don't go to a lot of weekend games because I'm busy. My son's got jiu-jitsu and flag football on Saturdays. It's hard for me to go.
No, for sure.
And also Saturday Miami games.
Oh,
yeesh.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not anybody could go to a good weekend game against Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
You go to the real games when you're old Tobs, Heat Sixers.
Yeah. Real
To see where the Heat will lie in the play-in. I totally forgot this game was at home, by the way, too.
Oh.
I was asked, like, hey, are you coming on Monday? I was like, oh, I thought that was in Philadelphia. Yeah, I guess I'll be there.
That's kind of how this season has gone.
I thought that there were only one. I thought the only home game left was the Wizards game. But no, there is a game. There is a game tonight. I will be there.
It is crazy how you could be at home for 2 weeks except for 3 days, and then you go back-to-back on the road for like New York and then Detroit.
Yep.
Right? Like you have the craziest back-to-backs. And then you come back home, or my favorite is you come back home for a back-to-back and the other team has been here for 2 days.
That was annoying being in Boston and then they got to take on a Grizzlies team that was just resting here. That was stupid. Did also mention that Tyler Herro missed that game on Saturday. He was out with a quad contusion, I believe, or thigh contusion. And that was
on them thigh pads, baby, like Kyle Lowry.
Only his fourth missed game of the season, but the Heat winless without Tyler Herro. They cannot win without him. So they hopefully will have him back tonight. Andrew Wiggins spoke after the game and made it seem like he was going to come back in the next couple of games. He said he was hopeful he was going to come back in the next couple of games dealing with that
hand.
If
you were injured, you didn't talk.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
So that means maybe he's coming back sooner than we think?
Yeah, it is an oddity. You're not wrong on that, Leroy. And especially he spoke after the game. That was an oddity that he did, but I don't know. They don't really practice, so there's no other time for him to speak. But yeah, he spoke and said that he says this is a new thing for me. I usually like to play throughout the seasons, a lot of games. Being hurt sucks.
It does, dude. It does, because you can't give people the answer they want because your injury does not have a schedule, right? And so you try to soothe people, and it's pretty amazing that a lot of times you don't know. Like, he might get up in the morning and feel better, go to the gym, shoot a jump shot, and realize he's not close. And there's nothing you can do about that. They just have people say, people telling you what the injury is, but that's not how your body's feeling. So I sympathize with some of these guys that, get hurt and just think they're going to fight through it. And it doesn't work that way. Now, there's the other guy who, there's a lot of guys in the league, especially in the NBA, that miss games with injuries that make you give them a little stink eye, right? Like, Jimmy would miss games, bubble guts.
Yeah, not according to Steve Kerr, though. He missed one game this year, and he's like, I'm not missing any more games, Steve. I was like, oh.
Yeah. What does that feel like? Is that still that new car smell?
It feels like Jimmy Honeymoon.
Because I got to tell you, what is he averaging? 14, 15 points?
I'll find out.
And I would say this also.
I think it was 17 the last time I checked.
17. Okay, 17. Name a number one on any other team that averages 17 points.
Maybe it's not number one. He's with Steph Curry.
No. I'm saying when he was with the Heat.
He didn't average 17 points with the Heat.
All right.
Hmm. 17 complaints, 17 missed games every quarter.
No, he missed more than that.
No, I'd say 17 before the All-Star break, 17 after the All-Star break.
Not this year.
Did he?
No, not this.
Did he play? Has he? When was the last time he played more than 60 games in a year? 60.
Probably
3 years ago.
With the Heat.
Right.
Yeah. Last time he played 60 or more games. Well, I mean, not too far away. He played 60 in 23-24, 64 in 22-23, but every other season before then, other than 2016, it was less than 60 games.
Right.
This game this year a bit of an asterisk because he was suspended for a lot of them.
Right. Yeah.
And with the Wizards in his 26 games, he has averaged 17.2 points as well as 6 rebounds. And look at that. This graphic here says he's still a big baby. Look at that. Stats don't lie.
Stats don't lie. I don't know, but you always seem to find the stats that speak untruths.
Yeah, he's averaging 17 points. He is shooting 46% from the field, which is pretty low for him. He's normally around like a 50% shooter around from the floor.
I don't think he's playing like as the years have gone by.
Mm-hmm.
He's gotten farther and farther away from the rim for whatever reason.
He's still getting to the free throw line a ton. That still hasn't gone away. That's the one thing. Like that's always been that's been his superpower. He is great at getting free throws.
Yep.
But didn't help him last night, did it, dude?
Yeah.
Hey.
So can I tell you, are you petty watching or are you okay? Because I can't never tell. I can't never tell with you and Jimmy.
I'll tell you, there's only 2 teams that I'll root for the Warriors against. Okay. If they get to the finals, I will root them. I will root for Jimmy against Boston because I can't root for Boston. And I will root for Jimmy against New York because I can't root for New York. I just can't. I can't.
That is the only circumstance on this earth.
Yeah, I just
will root for Jimmy.
I'd probably just turn it off, but I can't do it. I can't do it. But as I told you, like in the whole process of it, like I found it hard to root against him and hate him. But when he pulled that move of like sniveled off the court, I was like, that's weak sauce, dude. You didn't shake the hand.
Well,
everybody was having a love fest after the game. Wiggins and all the broskies and Steph Curry was dabbing a Bam and everybody was lovey-dovey. And you were like, big face coffee, punting.
So I'm still wondering because there's a lot of people that felt Jimmy was this guy before that. And you're just coming around to that. Right?
Well, no, but here's the thing. Yes, I know that he was difficult behind the scenes. I know that whole deal, like all that stuff was said, but he always said, and that wasn't truthful, these are my guys. I don't hold anything against my guys. Well, very clearly you did, and they hold it against you. And that's that. Now, I'm not saying that Jimmy Butler stinks, and do I think the Warriors could do something in the playoffs? Yeah, I think they could. They got Steph Curry, and Jimmy Butler's very good in the playoffs, and Draymond Green's a great defender, and Podziemski's killing it right now.
Killing it.
So, I think there could be certain teams. Are they going to beat OKC? No shot. But we'll see. It's also a very, very cluttered conference. There's a lot of good teams right now in that West. Houston's defending like animals. Denver's got the Joker. And they always kill the Jimmy Butler. He can't beat the Denver Nuggets. Like it like never happens. I think like this last one that they just got, that was the first time Jimmy Butler's beaten the Nuggets. I don't know how long.
Right.
But they don't beat them. Minnesota's coming on. Like it's a stacked conference. Not easy. Not easy for them, dude. So we'll see. But that definitely left me that definitely left a like, all right. That's how it is.
Jimmy nickname him Play-In Jimmy if they only get in the play-in?
If you want to.
Okay.
That's good. Instead of playoff Jimmy, play-in Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, he needed Max Strus to save him in the play-in one year.
Look at that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, wait a minute. While we sit here talking about, playoffs, Jimmy gonna turn it up. I'm like, we needed you to turn it up there. We had to rely on
But then he had the greatest first round series I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Anyway, take a break. Lots to get to. Lots of headlines. Lots of shenanigans. Alexander Ovechkin, all-time leading scorer in the NHL.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
Back after this.
Let's not forget to talk about Alex Ovechkin.
Tobin and Leroy. Back with you here on a Monday. Still got a 4-pack of tickets to give away to Bark at the Park, Marlins and Nats coming up this Sunday. We get to
That's
that.
what I got going on.
Got everything. What's that, man? Ooh, is that a retro vibe?
Retro vibe.
Ooh, retro vibe. So, are you coming in tomorrow? You gonna do a studio show tomorrow?
Yeah, what?
I feel like it's time. I feel like it's time to decide our free agents, Leroy. I think it's Red Balloon Day.
Ooh. All right.
Red Balloon. I feel like that's what we got to get going on
All
tomorrow.
right.
We got that going on tomorrow. That's gonna be happening. But first, can we get a weather update from the Demesman and Dover
Hey.
Loft, Leroy?
The fancy people pop bottles. We pop balloons, baby.
The Demesman and Dover Law from YourAccidentAttorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. Call them at 866-954-MORE.
Hit it with the jingle. Demesman and Dover. Demesman and Dover. One big happy family. The number you could do. All right. I'm looking at this one cloud fighting for dear life. Looks like it's coming out of the west at about 10 miles an hour, maybe a little bit less. It was a little cool this morning, so I'm going to say it's around 80, 85, closer to 80. And it doesn't look like there's much chance of a rain unless something happens in the next couple of hours.
All right. How do you do, Froggy?
Excellent indeed. It is currently 84 degrees, but be careful because the real feel is of like 94 degrees, unfortunately.
How can it feel like 10 degrees warmer?
Hey, man, I don't make the rules, but I will say there's 76% cloud coverage. So,
No, there's not. Where?
Down here?
No,
I had one little struggling cloud just zip across.
All right. He disputes your cloud coverage there, Marcos.
I'm always going to go with Leroy as far
All right.
as weather goes. So, you know what? Who cares what I have to say? Leroy was right.
The Marlins will be back at it tonight against the New York Mets. They split the weekend 1-1 because yesterday was rained out, but the Marlins won on Saturday. Matt Mervis.
They were against Atlanta, right?
Yes.
And so that was Atlanta's first win.
Atlanta got their first win on Friday, and then the Marlins won on Saturday. Matt Mervis hit 2 home runs. Matt Mervis.
Oh, yeah.
Eminem?
Hey.
He's their first baseman.
Eminem.
Yeah. The Merv
So
man.
every time he goes to the bat, they should go dum 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 dum.
He hit 2 home runs for the Fish, and then the Marlins were rained out yesterday. It was supposed to be Sandman on the hill.
Is he pitching tonight, or does he just miss us starting the rotation?
Here's what happened. So I think he probably would have started tonight, but Sandy's becoming a papa. And so Papa Sandy's coming back to Miami for the birth of his second child. And so he will go on, I guess, the paternity list, and they will have a spot starter tonight. I don't believe it's been announced yet. So Marlins and Mets tonight.
I figured we're to the point now where we'll pull the old Tampa Bay and have a bullpen game.
They probably will do something like that. Yeah, I think that Marlins.com says they may have Valente Belloso go out there today. So that's a possibility. They're going to do something like that. But, you know, it is good they had the day off, so the whole bullpen gets a nice day off to go into this. Well-rested against the Mets, who can go to hell.
Yeah.
Got lucky the last series, so let's take it to them. Marlins 5-4 on the season so
That's
far.
what I'm talking about, babe. You know what they say about Matt Mervis? Gets pitchers nervous.
That's good.
I
like that. Woo! Heat is back on the hardwood tonight against the Philadelphia 76ers. I just saw Ira and Anthony both tweet out that Bam Adebayo is now questionable for tonight with back spasms.
Oh, boy.
Dang, from carrying the team.
Oh, boy.
So no Bam, questionable. Well, I can't say no, man, but not looking great that he's now on the injury report. We'll see if he plays. But he does try and play through a lot. Tyler Herro and Andrew Wiggins still questionable. Tyler missed the last game. Andrew Wiggins has missed the last handful of games with a hammy. And so, could be a night for the young Sioux Falls crew. Could see a little Keyshawn Johnson tonight, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? A little Josh Christopher, maybe? Ooh, try that on for size? I don't know.
Wasn't he the G League or was it the Summer League MVP?
Summer League MVP.
Josh Christopher. Oh, I would love to see.
I saw the last game that I was at, boots on the ground.
Okay.
I saw Pat Riley.
Yeah.
Had a few pre-game words for Josh Christopher.
Look at that.
Words of wisdom from the Godfather.
Hey, look at that. It probably sounded like this. Whoa, Josh Christopher.
What? Why is he Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo Godfather, I feel like.
So I don't know. Well, maybe we'll be checking things out, huh? We'll see what happens tonight for this Heat game.
Josh Christopher minutes.
Some I don't know if there's any enough to put a chili pepper on anything, but
Probably.
if there's no Tyler Herro tonight and no Bam Adebayo,
Whoa.
someone's gonna put that ball in the basket.
Sure.
And they don't get a lot of natural scores on this team.
Maybe that means
Is this a Jaime get
no.
right game if that happens, right? Like this is the game where you're like, Jaime, go do your best. If there's
Rozier, you think maybe?
Well, I mean, I guess we could see, we could try anything. We'd throw it against the wall.
Oh man.
Be like, everybody, just throw lobs to Ware, please. All the time.
Yeah.
Let Ware take 20 shots tonight.
Bella Larson.
Why not?
Why not?
Any word on Jovic? Still nothing else.
I don't know. I don't know anything. The last thing that they said last week was that he was cleared for on-court work.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that means, with the Heat. Like, I don't know if he's out there practicing. They had shoot around today in the morning. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he got a little worky work in, impossible.
I don't know. According to rotowire.com, which I have no clue. I don't trust anything anymore. It just says he's been ruled out for Monday's game against Philly.
Oh, yeah, he's not going to play.
I would have been like, oh, this would be, usually I'd be like, this is a perfect game for Jovic. Show us what you got, buddy. Well, we don't even have that.
Nope. No, we don't.
Let the chips fall where they may.
The chips fall where they may.
That just sounds ridiculous.
Oh, my God. We got this, though, man. It's not like it's the final countdown, right? We got a lot of time left in the season. It's not like these last couple games are crucial.
I mean, yeah, but they could also be. I mean, there's only 4 games left. There could only be 5 games left if they lose to the Bulls, because they got to finish ahead of the Bulls. The Bulls got the tiebreak on them.
Everybody has a tiebreak on them.
Chips fall where they may. Boots on the ground tonight, though. Happy for you, bro.
Thank you.
Happy for you.
Thank you.
Who else do you think will be there? Being that it is, if you follow the team, wait, no, fans. If you follow the team and you can only name 2 starters, how do you think the fan base views
on the Sixers? You mean I can name?
Yeah, on the Sixers. Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it's a night. Maybe you get a little second market cheapskates ticket and you want to go check out the Heat.
See, I'm old school, right? And going to games is different down here. Because when I was in Cleveland, when I had season tickets, if I asked somebody, hey, you want to go to the basketball game? Yes. Right? Get in the car, you're driving to the game. Who are they playing? Right? Down here, whatever sport it is, that question comes up before they even tell you if they want the tickets or not. Right? So if you say, hey, you want to go to the Heat game? I got good seats. Who are they playing? 76ers. No Joel Embiid. No, I'm out.
You think Joel Embiid makes the trip? He's going to want a party down here, yeah.
I mean, for a guy who doesn't move around a lot and lumbers when he's healthy, I would think anything that you see him doing, you're going to ask the question, why couldn't he do that on the basketball court?
Sure.
Right? So I think he's just going to chill. Did he have surgery yet?
I think he had arthroscopic surgery.
But that doesn't. Here, let me explain something to you.
Okay.
You can have arthroscopic surgery. That doesn't mean it was minor, because you can go in there and have arthroscopic surgery. I ended up having arthroscopic surgery, right? And ended up with
dog.
4 little holes drilled into my femur. Right? And I was on crutches for 8 weeks. It's called microfracture. It's worse than that surgery is worse than if you tore a ligament.
I don't think he got microfracture surgery.
No, but I don't know. A lot of basketball players have it, and everybody shrugs it off as like, oh, it was orthoscopic. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, that's worse than a ligament tear.
Yeesh. Oof.
So I don't know. If you got bone on bone, they might be trying something like that. So I don't know what, just because he had orthoscopic surgery doesn't mean that they didn't have to do anything serious. It just means they go in there and look around and start fixing stuff.
The men's national championship tonight between Florida and Houston gets going at 8:50, and the UConn Lady Huskies are your national champions in basketball. Those are your headlines, brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. Back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. 560 WQAM. Say to our friends over there at Radio Libre.
Can you see him through all the flags?
I can't actually. I can't. Anyway, we'll give away a pair of tickets, or sorry, 4-pack of tickets to Bark at the Park. Marlins coming on up with the Nationals this weekend. Scooby-Doo Day. But first, let's get to some cat talk here, huh? Brought to us by Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the #1 Kia dealer in all of Florida. Get the star treatment. We want to see you in a Hollywood Kia. Visit them online at hollywoodkia.com. Cats off today. Tomorrow, they take on the Toronto Maple Leafs, who they still are chasing in their division. Got them last time, the Maple Leafs. It's actually the last team that the Cats beat in regulation back in the middle of March. So this list, we talked about this earlier in the show right now. The list is, vast with all the things the Cats are dealing with. Matthew Tkachuk, of course, he did tease his comeback on social media, dealing with the groin. We have Ekblad, who can return game 3 of a first-round series. Kulikov, Sturm, Barkov, all dealing with injuries. None of them super serious, according to Paul Maurice. They should all be back. This last game, Paul Maurice just shut down Reinhart, Bennett, and Forsling. And the only guy really of note that played of age was Marchand, who's saying, I want to get in as many games as possible. But really, we haven't had that moment other than the first game in overtime with Bennett. We haven't had that Marchand impact yet as he's trying to find his way with the Cats.
Now, is it harder to get that Marchand impact because there's a lot of other guys out also?
Got to be part of it, you would think, right? All the guys who are in and out.
It's like a guy who leads the league in assists. If there ain't nobody making no shots, you ain't gonna lead the league in assists.
It's like the opposite of Andrew Wiggins. It's like Andrew Wiggins got here, stopped playing games. Marchand got here, everybody else stopped playing games.
Wow.
What?
Do you not like Andrew Wiggins?
What did I say? What did I say that
always,
was untrue? What did I say?
You
I don't
always,
know him enough.
I got nothing against Andrew Wiggins.
Always throwing
Andrew Wiggins.
You always throwing subtle jabs at Wiggy.
The opposite. I don't understand what the problem is. What do you and the Canadians at your house? Mima, she says, don't he speak? He better not speak bad of Maple Jordan.
She wouldn't know Andrew Wiggins if he came to the house and offered to take her to lunch.
He seems like a lovely man. I have nothing against him. Nothing.
But I'm just saying,
opposite, he got traded here.
It seems like you should have more problem with Marchand because of all the stuff you've dealt with Marchand. But you always go after Wiggins.
Why? So I should have more of a problem with Marchand just because he was a pain. He was a malcontent.
Yeah. No.
And Andrew Wiggins.
I'm just saying, in general, Wiggins is a likable guy. It's unfortunate that he got hurt. It's not something that he normally.
I don't take shots at Andrew Wiggins. I don't. Cody's saying you always take shots at Andrew. I don't take shots.
Always take shots at him.
I don't take shots at him.
Dude.
I don't think Andrew Wiggins.
You know what?
Like a lovely man
right now. And look, you guys can get on me and say that I fat shame, even though I gave it up for Lent, right? But this guy attacks people and then chalks it up to I was sleepwalking. You sleep shame people. You say, I've never said anything negative about Andrew. You've been riding Andrew Wiggins since he got here and didn't stop.
I don't think that's true. How could I ride him? He didn't play.
Dude, Marcos, if you just think off the top of your head all the comments that this man has made about Andrew Wiggins, could you come to the conclusion that I don't think he likes Andrew Wiggins?
Yes, but because this guy never plays, dude. I'm like, can you just play, please?
He normally plays a lot of games.
He normally, I know, but you know what? He hasn't. So I have nothing.
I trust that he's hurt for real and not going to watch tennis.
I'm not accusing Andrew Wiggins of fat kids.
You kind of are.
I will say he's got a bad board face. He's got a bad board face, and what I mean by that is when he's on that bench, he looks bored.
Or some would look at that as being miserable that he can't play.
maybe, but he doesn't seem to be enjoying
there you
himself
go.
very much. I don't
That's
know.
the difference between somebody
know.
who likes a guy and somebody who doesn't.
That's
right?
not fair.
Because
That's
I
not
say,
fair. I have
man,
nothing against Andrew
I look
Wiggins.
at Wiggins and I go, man, he looks miserable that he can't play.
He
Tobin
seems-
looks at him, who doesn't like him, and to say, "Woo, he looks bored."
He seems like a lovely individual. I have nothing against Andrew Wiggins. Never would have.
Really,
Andrew
really,
Wiggins.
really, dude.
What?
Come
Why
on.
would I have anything against Andrew Wiggins? Been on the Heat
Come
for
on.
3 seconds.
Come on,
Like
dude,
literally.
you
3
have
seconds.
been relentless since he got here.
I've been relentless.
Yes,
I don't think that's true.
Marcos.
He's
Please,
a little rough on
What
that.
did I say? What did I say about him? You guys have no receipts. You're just saying a
Look,
thing.
no, dude. Everybody knows what I'm saying. Look, you're not
I don't think that's
guilty.
fair.
No, you just do it like you're sleepwalking. Like when
I
you
won't-
get up, you don't even realize you're doing it.
No, give me one caller to tell me one thing I've said about Andrew Wiggins. 305-567-0560. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. If you do, I'll give you the Marlins tickets. If you can name one thing I've said about Andrew Wiggins that's actually been negative about Andrew Wiggins. I've said nothing bad about Andrew Wiggins. I got nothing against Andrew Wiggins. Seems like a lovely individual.
3 seconds ago.
What did I say?
Oh, that Marchand, he comes to the team and he plays and everybody else is hurt. Wiggins, soon
Is
as he
that a
gets to the
shot?
team, he's hurt.
Well, when you say it in that tone, which is not the tone that I used, you could say that about anything.
Wait,
Like, you
wait,
didn't use that
wait.
tone.
That's like saying, hey, you're a jackass. And then going, you're a jackass, right? It's the tone.
But I
It's
didn't
the
say
tone.
it in a bad
No,
tone.
it's the words. Words hurt.
I didn't say
like-
any bad words about Andrew
Oh my
Wiggins.
goodness.
That's nothing against him.
I think he's right though. That exaggerated tone does a little much. You know, you talk about anything, you can be like, "Oh, these dang firefighters, they're always helping us."
All
And
right,
it's
let's see what this call. What's this guy's name, Marcos?
like,
See.
let's find out.
Let's find out. Should I just put him on the air? He
Yeah,
won't
let's
curse, right?
find out.
Hey, 560. What's your name?
Raphael.
Hey, Raphael. You're on the air, buddy. Have I really been tough on Andrew Wiggins? How have I been tough on Andrew Wiggins?
So Leroy just said what I was going to say. You just did it not even 45 seconds ago, a minute ago.
Was that tough on Andrew Wiggins? What did I say? That was
Yes,
so
you're right.
wrong.
You're praising Marchand 100%.
I wasn't really praising Marchand, though. I was just saying it's weird. How the,
I'll take my tickets though.
fine.
Well,
Hey,
You did
Hey,
work for him, so
by
I mean,
the way,
you know,
hey, I'm not the dude. You
I
know
didn't
what?
feel like that
After
was
this
a
last
shot.
little, after this last little backhanded slam of Andrew Wiggins, I just start putting it all together, and I'm like, he must not like Andrew Wiggins.
Nothing against
Dude,
Andrew Wiggins,
Come
dude.
on.
He's a tremendously talented
You
player
know what?
who doesn't
Wait,
play
wait.
very much
Dude,
for the Heat.
it's almost like, I'm telling you, it's like you sleepwalk, go in the kitchen and eat up some cake, and then you would say, oh, I don't even remember doing that. I was sleepwalk. That's how you are with Wiggins.
I don't think
Dude, you oh my goodness.
Andrew Wiggins has had good games. I've given credit where credit's due.
No,
He just
and
doesn't
then the
play
next
games
week
very
he
well.
goes, hey, you can't go from 30 to 10. Like you've been killing him.
I mean, he does do that a lot, though. Where like,
But
he'll
if you
have
average
17
25,
points.
you're not gonna score 25 every night, or you average 20.
He doesn't average 25, but like even if
What
he
does
does
he average? Does he
I don't
average
know.
20?
I don't know. I don't know what his Heat average is, but obviously it's skewed because he's played like 4 games. So I think that for his standpoint,
He's played
I
half
think-
the game since he's been here.
barely, dude. Like
I
barely.
mean, he did. It's not
Half
per
the
game.
game.
See, wait, let me explain something to you. Even in your last comment, in effect, you're ripping him.
I'm not
Because you
ripping
said
him.
he's played half of the game since he's been here. You said he has only played 4 games.
You would have thought, hold on. when
No,
we
no,
made-
no. But
No,
you're
no, no,
coming out by saying
they
something
said-
like that.
But people said when Andrew Wiggins got traded here, all right, we gave him Jimmy's number. He's going to play more than Jimmy, and he hasn't. They're like, oh, it's going to just be addition
You
because
know,
you're going
in
to have minutes.
sports, injuries happen.
All
It's
right.
unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. That's all I was saying.
But let me ask you a question.
Hmm?
When Jimmy was here and he said he was hurt, did you question whether he was hurt or
Of
not?
course I knew he was faking it.
Okay.
Not
This
like
is for years.
this
So
this
so
year.
now we go to Wiggins. Are you putting that same thing on Andrew Wiggins?
it's no. I have nothing against him. I
Then
just I don't know him.
if he's hurt, he's hurt. You can't control that.
You're right. I
But
can't.
it doesn't stop you from going all
hosing
in.
him down.
Oh my goodness. You can't. Like, I remember after he scored 40 points and he came back and scored like 15. And you're like, hey,
Yeah, it's like,
hey, Wiggy, how about you scored? Like, you have been relentless against this dude.
I haven't been relentless.
You
That
don't
is very
really,
strong.
because maybe you've been in a trance. But I'm
560
telling
out
you,
there. What's your name?
I'm telling you.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man? What's your name?
Oh, this is Mario.
What's up, Mario?
Oh, yes. Hello.
I'm here, buddy.
Yeah.
You're on the air. Please get after it.
Tobin, what's up, man?
How are you, buddy?
Hey, man. I'm watching it live right now, man. But look, bro, I'm just saying, you don't have to hate on Wiggins like that.
I'm not hating on him. You hating on him, bro. I'm not hating on Andrew Wiggins.
Hating on him.
Look, bro, look, just chill, man. Look, I don't think he's miserable here, man. I think he just looks bored for some reason, bro.
Yeah, he's got one of those faces. Like, he just looks bored.
got
I'm not
resting
saying
bored
he hates it
face.
here. I'm sure he loves it here. What's not to love? But he looks like he's like, man, bored. I don't know.
But like, I have this tone that you might hate him for no reason.
I don't
bro.
hate him for why would I hate
For
him?
no
Your
reason.
tone.
Speak your truth,
Listen,
buddy. Don't let him
Makes
silence
no
you.
sense. Why would
Hey,
I hate Andrew Wiggins?
Here's the problem. Here's the problem.
You do
That
hate Wiggins.
because we so used to it, we let it go. And then it just got too far. Right? So something had to be said. And then you had the audacity to say, when does it happen before? Hey, you have more of a chance of saying when it hasn't happened. That's how much you on Wiggins.
I'm not on Wiggins.
Oh my goodness.
What are you
Tobin,
talking about?
Tobin, you
This
are
is
just
so silly.
Wait, listen. Let me tell you something. You my boy, right? And we think it's thieves, right? But let me say this. Don't lie in front of the kids. It's not a good look. You lying in front of all our people.
I'm not
All the people
lying.
got receipts.
What would I hate on?
There is nobody.
Hey,
There is nobody that is gonna side with you on this.
because
We
what?
brought it up after it just got too far.
'Cause
It's
he's
too
the-
much.
Because he's the king of 20 for nothing? Like,
You
I
throw
don't
it back. Wait, what do you see?
I mean,
What
you know,
was
a
that?
lot of the games, like he scored 20, like it had no impact on the win.
Oh, so now you complaining about him scoring 20.
No, I'm just saying, like in those games, you know, most of those games, other than the Charlotte game,
Ooh.
but like other than the Charlotte game, it's mostly been 20 for nothings.
Yeah, but guess what?
Riot.
The team was playing poorly. So why are you putting it on him?
I'm not putting it on him, but you're giving
Yes,
him
you are!
a bit of a free pass.
Wait a minute. You just nicknamed a player 20 for nothing. You basically call Andrew Wiggins a looter
I
and a
didn't
riot.
call him a looter and a
You
riot.
called a looter. Okay, hey, what is your definition of 20 points for nothing?
What is my definition?
It's called looter and riot.
No, it's not a looter
Really?
riot.
Marcos.
It's not a looter riot.
That's a looter in a riot.
You gotta score more for looter and a riot.
More than so he's not. Wait.
Scoring 20
So,
for nothing.
wait. No.
That's petty.
So
theft.
Marcos,
Yeah.
he is saying Andrew Wiggins is
Not
not even good enough to be a looter
I
in a
didn't
riot.
say that. He's an all-star. I would never
Wait,
see that
wait.
on Andrew Wiggins.
Did you not just say you got to score more than 20 to be a looter in a riot?
No, it's not that. See, here's the thing. There's people who score 20, and you're like, that was 20. You know, like I would argue Slow-Mo's been a more impactful player than him.
Well, because they've been winning.
Well, I mean, I just think Slow-Mo's got the keys. You know, I don't know.
Davion Mitchell, more impactful as well.
Kyle, what's up, man?
Hey, Tobin, Leroy, Frog Boy. Look, I like Wiggins. He's great defensively. You know, some nights he might score 20, the other 12. We're used to that down here. But, you know, what is there for us to really love about him so far? He's missed half the games he's been here for. He's not really in the future plans past next year, maybe. It'd be nice if he was on the court is all.
That's all. Yeah, it's nothing against him. It's nothing against him. I'm not going to get on somebody for being injured. He's hurt. But when he's been out there.
Wait. Here we go. I'm fine with that.
Hmm?
I'm fine with you saying, man, I wish Wiggy could get back out there. I wish he could be healthy enough to be out there. I'm fine with that. That's not what you did, my man.
That's not
Marcos. At any point in time, did Tobin ever say, you know what? When Wiggins gets back, this team gonna be able to go on a run or something like that, or be able to have some more scoring, or be able to nut. You've never said that.
You're taking liberties. Okay, first of all, let's go where this all started. All I was saying was initially, this is a hard thing for Brad Marchand because he doesn't get to play with his teammates, which you agreed with. And I'm just saying it's kind of been the opposite for Andrew Wiggins, who his new teammates haven't even gotten to
If
play
we talk about Marchand, why we got to bring up Wiggins in a whole different
trades? Two big trades in the middle.
It's not the same, though.
Is it?
Because we're adding Marchand to a team that's been to 2 straight Stanley Cup finals.
Okay, whatever.
What did you think was going to happen when Wiggins got here?
I didn't expect Andrew Wiggins to. Well, I mean, listen. I think in a great scape, you would have thought he would have come here and maybe it would have added something because you got nothing out of Jimmy Butler this year, so you're basically just making an addition into the team. You're like replacing Jaquez with him, and really, it's been a lot of 20 for nothings and the longest losing streak in 15 years.
I've said all year, and that this team looks like a playing team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the health part of it and having guys in and out doesn't help that. But Wiggins is going to be more consistent with minutes and games when he gets healthy. And I think that's going to play see, there we go. Look,
got 4 games left, dude. Maybe 5.
I'm sorry. He couldn't time his injury to happen on the offseason.
It's unfortunate timing.
It is.
But what's your name?
Yo, Tobin.
Hey, what's up, man?
Can I ask you this question?
Sure.
Do you think Wiggins is part of the future, or do you think he's like a trade piece to use to like get a superstar player here in Miami or something?
It's hard. What's your name?
Mario.
It's hard to say. I don't know what his future piece is, right? Like he doesn't make a crazy amount of money, and he's a good player. There's no denying that there's talent there. I mean, there's a lot of 20 for nothings, but like other than that, like
why do you say that?
He's very clearly he's been part of a winning team before. He's like the 4th most important warrior, but like
he almost won the MVP.
No, he didn't. You keep doing that. No, he didn't. He was very good on the team. Let's not say things that aren't true. And
do they win that championship without Wiggins?
I would say no, but he wasn't the most valuable. Like you're taking liberties. You're taking liberties. 5-6.
Is that any different than Caleb almost winning it in the
No, because Caleb Martin actually almost won the conference finals MVP. He was that good.
Yeah, so go look at the finals with Wiggins, dude. I think
I don't have to look at the finals. He was very good for them, but Steph Curry was the most valuable.
Yeah, I think Steph Curry outscored him by 12 points per game.
Not close.
No.
But very good. Very important.
He outscored him by 12 points a game?
I think it was like 18 to 30.
Steph Curry was amazing in that series, Leroy.
Okay.
Nobody else. But Steph Curry, hey, listen, I'm not taking anything away. He's a champion. I'm not taking anything away from him. If anything, you're taking things away from him because you're trying to puff up things that aren't true.
Hold on.
He should just be able to stand on what's true.
This all started when you call Andrew Wiggins 20 for nothing.
No. It started because I was trying to just make a point about Marchand, and you took liberties. You went.
Why would you then talk about Wiggins? Because you know why? You had him in your back pocket. Oh, this is a perfect time to go ahead on and trash Wiggins again.
Dolphin Kane says, Tobin, ask Riley if Wiggins would have played more games, would they have won those games? I think I'm going to take it out. I'm going to sit that question out. One more. 560. What's your name?
Yo, what's up, Tobin?
What's up, man? What's your name?
Good. My name is Amit. I just wanted to destroy Leroy's statement. I'm watching all your videos, man. You're not hating on Wiggins, bro.
Thanks, man.
Wow. Look at that. He did the research.
He's not hating on Wiggins, bro. He's not playing. That's the only thing. And we're talking about it all the time. The guy's not playing. He's playing well when he's on the basket field, but he's not playing enough.
I'm telling you, dude. You play great on the basket field. Things are going to happen.
Don't. He was on your side. All right? Don't.
One.
He watched shows, though.
I haven't hated on him. I really haven't. Has it been underwhelming? I think that's fair.
Speaking of underwhelming, I think Klay Thompson in that finals. I mean, come on.
Oh, my goodness.
What are we even doing? Thank God we have him instead of Andrew Wiggins.
If Jimmy Butler would have hit that shot though against the Celtics, they would have beaten the Warriors.
Yeah.
Would have killed Andrew Wiggins, and he would be here with no championships.
True.
So in a lot of ways, he's lucky that Jimmy missed that shot.
Okay.
Not that I'm rooting for Jimmy Butler anymore, but I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, gotta take a break. What? I'm not a hater, dude. Listen, look. If anybody on this show is a hater, it's you. It's you, not me. Yeah, you. And you deny it all the time. Oh, I didn't say I don't feel that way.
So my question is so why do you not
Because
do it
I'm not
to
hating
me?
on him. I'm not hating on him.
Really?
I'm not hating on him.
What was the nicest thing that you said about Wiggins in the last 5 minutes?
Oh, that's not fair.
20 for nothing.
That's not fair. That's not fair. I've said you know me, okay? They call me the prop man. Props where props is due. That's what I always do.
Okay.
When props are due, I give props. When he's had good games, or even if he's had good games and losses, I've given props where props is due.
That's not no. If he had good games and they were in losses, here's what you would have said. You wouldn't have said 20 for nothing.
That's not true. He's just
the worst.
Back after this. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy back with you here. 560 WQAM. Take you guys up until 2 here on the program. Alexander Volkanovski, former UFC featherweight champion, is going to join us as he tries to reclaim his belt, which was vacated by Ilia Topuria. He'll join us next hour. He's fighting Diego Lopes this weekend, Saturday, at the Kaseya Center, UFC 314. Oh, hello, Jennifer. What's up with the headband?
Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I not wear one?
It's just not your look. Like, it's not your thing. I think that's the first time we've seen you wear a headband like ever.
That is true, but I just needed to get rid of the bangs for today.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. You're entitled to a headband. It just threw me off a little bit.
Sorry.
Yes. Although while you were gone, I did put together the list of best.
You know who else wears a headband? Wiggins.
Does he?
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
I was just trying to beat you to it.
What did you put a list together of, Marcos?
Best headband athletes of all time.
Okay. What do you got?
I believe we
White
put
chocolate.
Wilt
I number
Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was on that list. Walter Payton was on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jim McMahon was taken off the list because he just copied Walter Payton. Really, for
Interesting.
being serious.
I feel like I know him more for sunglasses than headbands.
You know, I played with him. He actually wore those sunglasses all the time.
He had the sprint, right?
He had an eye thing.
That's cool.
So he had to wear it.
Allen Iverson was on the list.
That's a great one.
Yeah, and Nelly.
What about LeBron?
So, yes, I think we did mention
LeBron's headband was pretty iconic, and then he left it like
especially because when he got done, it looked like a yarmulke. Wait, Tobes. That thing kept going farther and farther back.
It added layers
like
every year of the big three. It added layers, and then he finally just ditched it. Yeah, he finally ditched it. But headband LeBron, like I felt like the first half of his career, like that's a pretty iconic athlete.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's your list. It's also your mixed bag. What do you got for us, dude?
Let's mix it on, dude.
What do you got in the mixed bag, Marcos, that won't take liberties like Leroy's takes on my feelings of Andrew Wiggins, who is perfectly lovely?
Okay. Maybe the first time you've described him as perfectly lovely, but no worries. Won't get any.
He's trying to overcompensate for the ways in which he trashed him.
I didn't trash him.
Okay.
You can say a lot of
things. Say one good thing about him last.
That's not true. I said he was a perfectly lovely person and very talented.
You said that right now, and it's the first time.
I said that last segment. Okay, maybe your headband was on too tight, but I did say that last segment.
No,
here we go.
You can't just go ahead and throw that at me right now.
No, I can. I just did because I think you're being the two hobnobbers are becoming Johnny and Joni forgetful, just like Leroy forgot to celebrate Alexander Ovechkin when we were, and now you're forgetting that I said Andrew Wiggins was perfectly lovely and talented.
Well, who were the forgetful people you just pressed? Johnny and
Joni Hobnobber over here.
It's still writing.
How could we forget old Johnny and Joey Hobnobber? Right now back into the mixed bag, shall we? Tonight at 8:50 or 9:30, depending on who you ask. It is the national championship game, huh? That took anybody's fancy here, or is it just like you said?
Not
your
really.
least favorite.
I'm not a college basketball fan as it is. Like I only like my.
I mean, I think it's weird. Does March Madness die down the fewer teams are left? Because that first weekend is fire.
I think I think this weekend probably was a good because you have Duke losing in classic fashion. I think everybody wanted to see. Everybody hates Duke normally, even though I think people want to see Cooper Flag maybe in the championship.
I mean,
but
here's the deal.
You watch Duke embarrass themselves. Like that's something the country can rally around.
Okay, but I could say the same thing about Samson.
Huh?
People don't like him.
Oh, I got you. Oh, yes.
Yeah, but not like Duke. Duke is like one of the least likable.
Is Duke who's in football? Notre Dame?
Yeah. Yeah.
Duke and Notre Dame.
Hoity-toity blue blood.
Wow.
Intangibles.
Yeah.
I think Heat Colt is right. I think because we saw record numbers for the first weekend and then record drop-offs after that. It's everyone's bracket that, completely goes to crap. And if your team's not in it, you're not watching.
My bracket got busted Saturday.
Yeah. And
I had been in first place the whole tournament.
Unfortunate, man. Got to hold on. All 4 quarters there. Heat Roy. Well, this Samson that you're talking about, Coach.
Your bracket a lot like Andrew Wiggins, 20 for nothing.
See,
that's not helping your case, dude. That is not.
Couldn't resist.
Well, like I mentioned, Houston tonight going against Florida. What a journey Coach Sampson has been on. 9 years ago, there's a video of him that's circulating right now, begging people to come to the games.
Come to the game. So our first one's tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Can I get a fist bump? Can I get a fist bump? Can I get a fist bump? Boom. It's on, fellas.
See you tomorrow night at 7. It is on. You got me?
7 o'clock tomorrow night. I've got your eyes locked in. I've got your eyes locked in. I've got your eyes locked in. Now we got a fist bump the ceiling.
What an interesting looking human.
1, 2, 3. Hey, listen. Our first home basketball game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock.
That's cool.
That is cool.
I mean, Jim Larinaga did something
Jim
similar.
Larinaga was the same way.
Jim Larinaga was delivering Papa John's pizzas to dorms, and then
he was about that. He was about that school. He was about. So you
really
want
what
that.
we're saying is Kelvin Sampson's a copycat.
No pizza. And like honestly, not as good. Yeah. Well, I
You
hope
just
Coach
stole your
Pitbull
megaphone.
use my code.
J-Fig, what's it like being the lead singer of Poison?
Oh, okay. Okay.
What?
Okay.
Really?
-1 for sass.
It's a great life, apparently.
Well, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good life.
What the hell's wrong with you today? Right?
I felt attacked.
No. Hold on. First of all, you are merely being called out for your previous crimes against Andrew Wiggins. That's it. You got all defensive, and then you lash out at J-Fig?
Lash out, dude.
She ain't got no weapon. You're saying she's a prettier Bret Michaels than Bret Michaels?
Oh,
Thank
definitely.
you. I appreciate that.
which is like, is like, even in Tobin words,
It just came out of nowhere, which is why I stopped laughing.
I'm trying to think. How do you say this to Jennifer? You look better than Bret Michaels.
No, he never said better. He just said, how does it feel like to be the lead singer of Poison?
Right. Dude, what happened to you this weekend?
What do you mean?
Something we should know about.
Had a lovely.
You have some sort of like thing against him.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything.
I was off the top rope.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Wow.
Is this because of beer pong? Are you still mad?
Oh,
rivalry.
Oh, well, listen, you want to talk about taking liberties. You on Instagram taking liberties.
You know what? I don't know what you're
Erasing
talking about.
erasing
And
your
I
law.
think we should go to break.
Erasing your loss. That's
What did I
taking liberties.
erase? I didn't erase anything. Did you get
You
any
made it
footage?
seem like you
No.
went out there and swept. I graciously gave you an extra match, which I didn't have to. I already won the rubber match. And then you cheated.
I didn't cheat.
how do you cheat playing beer pong in the garbage cans?
It was so much fun. I love giant beer pong.
Yeah.
We can play regular size tomorrow.
Wow.
Okay.
Or if you come to the Miami Improv on April 12th, which is next Saturday,
No.
we will be playing it.
Hey, so wait, no.
Hmm?
You can't play tomorrow. Tomorrow we're bringing balloons.
Who says we got to be limited to one game, dude?
Whoa.
Seriously, let's
Oh.
play games.
It never look. If you playing too big, right? You never get through half of the stuff. Like, hence, you've been doing a show sheet, dude, for almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, Marcos had the audacity during Frog Week
Mm-hmm.
to send out to send out a show sheet. I just
Well, that's
chuckled.
I
It's
do the
Tobin,
show
too.
sheet every day. I just changed it from to save email space. I've just changed it to a one document that like it changes every day. So you can just
I know.
access it whenever you want.
I know.
You choose not
You
to,
don't.
ergo why you forget when I celebrate Alexander Ovechkin, you think that we hadn't celebrated Alexander Ovechkin.
No, that's because I was looking at the chat. Told you.
So
I'm
far
a
we
people
got
person.
almost everything.
I like to go back and forth with the people.
How about go back and forth with your host?
Yeah.
Now we're
Not
just
if he's
laughing out.
trashing
I
Andrew
think that's
Wiggins.
Ooh.
At least I was acknowledging one of the game's greats.
So who hates who worse based on their comments?
Mm-hmm.
Because I say I don't hate
So
Aaron Rodgers.
No, you're basically confirming that just now after asking,
You just
asking
did.
that question.
You
What do
just
you
boxed
mean?
yourself in.
You just said who
You
hates
just boxed
who,
yourself in.
I don't hate him.
yourself.
People just think that.
but you were just gonna.
Do you think? Wait. No.
You boxed
Tobin.
yourself in.
Tobin. We think you hate Andrew Wiggins.
Right.
Do you hate Andrew Wiggins?
No, I don't even know Andrew Wiggins enough to hate him.
Okay, so
I've barely seen him play for the Heat.
Again, that's what I was
You didn't even
comparing.
have to finish your sentence, and we already knew who you were talking about.
That. Yeah, but
Boom.
You hate Aaron Rodgers, dude.
no, I don't hate him.
I hate him.
I hate all the.
He's
nonsense.
legitimately your least favorite athlete of all time.
Yeah.
No, you know who my least favorite athlete of all time.
Eli Apple.
No, he's a whole side note. And I was with a whole bunch of Buckeyes. You best believe I let them know about Eli Apple.
Ew, gross. Right.
Let's see who was there. Will Allen. I golfed with Archie Griffin and Santonio Holmes.
Oh, they're good.
Serviceable.
I forgot Cedric's last name. He used to be the he was a player personnel guy with Detroit.
Benson.
But yeah,
We got to go to break. You figure that out. But also, we have terrible news that just came across.
Terrible news.
Tell you about it next.
What?
Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you, 560 WQAM. Alexander Volkanovsky going to join us later on this hour.
Yeah.
Headlines are brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, the Taos, and the Alice. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen. You got the national championship tonight at 8:50, Florida and Houston. Panthers are off today. They're back at it tomorrow at home, hosting the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Heat, they're back on the hardwood tonight against the 76ers. It's a 7:30 tip-off from the Kaseya Center, 6:15 pre-Heat with Solana. And right now, Bam Adebayo is questionable with back spasms.
Ooh.
Tyler Herro dealing with a thigh contusion. Andrew Wiggins dealing with a hamstring, also questionable for tonight's game. So that is a little look at your injury report going into tonight's matchup against the Sixers, who, of course, are their own little mash unit.
Yeah, but they just decided they weren't going to play people.
Yep.
Little different.
They're like, shut it down. Oh, Tyrese Maxey, your finger hurts? Surgery. Let's shut it down, baby. We're going to try and get Cooper Flag. But this is the breaking news. Awful news. Awful news. Shams Charania reports Portland Trailblazers general manager Joe Cronin
has been fired.
Has agreed to a multi-year contract extension.
Oh, wow. That's the opposite.
What? How does he and the Giants look at their team and think, you know what? Let's give this guy a little bit more time.
Blazers have 35 victories, a 14-win improvement so far, 22-16 since January 19th. It's such an odd pick of days, but fine. While ranking top 5 defensive efficiency during that span, they of course have the same amount of wins as the Miami Heat. Hate that bastard. You guys blame me. It's his fault, not mine.
It is his fault. He got a little cocky, but it's his
I would say that when Dame said he wanted to come to Miami, it made everybody down here a little arrogant. And that probably spurred the no.
Was I arrogant? Yes. Do I regret it? No.
You would have had Dame.
If I was more humble?
Yeah.
Hard to say.
No, see. You know, that's the job that we do, is to take situations and games and kind of project.
Well, who's the piece that he got that is really taken off? Who's what has been the thing that's oh, Joe Cronin did that in the Dame trade. It really worked for him.
Scoot.
He was getting Scoot no matter what anyway. Nobody's
Right.
better than Scoot. Nobody.
But has he done anything? Has he emerged during this?
He's been better. I mean, it's hard
14 game improvement.
Hard to be better than, hard to be worse than he was.
He averages 12 points a game.
Yeah, like I said, it's hard to be worse than he was.
So
nobody's better than Scoot. And what about Chauncey Billups?
Mm.
You know, Shaq thought that he coached the damn Pistons. He didn't even give him credit for the right team.
That's crazy. You know why? Because he's getting that PTSD from that championship.
That's true.
Yeah, Chauncey's out there coaching the Pistons. All right. That's okay. Leroy thought Cade Cunningham played for the Red Wings.
Here we go.
Well, congratulations, Joe Cronin. I don't mean that at all.
I don't know how this man was able to do that. That's amazing.
I think a lot of times we forget about the relationships that these guys have with the owners.
Yeah, the owner's probably like, you knew that Dame had that bad blood. Way to go,
I don't
Cronin.
think nobody had bad blood with Dame.
No. I mean, legitimate bad blood that's cost him the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did he already announce he's out for the year?
That's too soon, I feel.
Too soon.
Oh,
Too soon for what? You guys got to grow up.
Hey,
soon, dude.
hey, did they confirm he's out for the year?
No, they haven't ruled him out for the year, but he's going to be out for the year. Come on. Let's grow up.
Too soon.
Let's be real about it.
You never know.
No, I know. He's not coming back this year.
Hmm.
Who's the guy who's come back from the blood clots? Nobody.
Botch came back and then went out again.
Yeah, in a year.
Yeah.
He'll come back in 6 months. He'll be back next year.
No, there's other guys that have had it.
That have come back for the season?
Yeah.
Who?
I'm trying to think. Like, it happens more than you think.
It doesn't.
It does.
Prove it. Give me a name.
I'll think of one.
You won't.
Yes, I'll.
Did he have DVT? Is that the kind of
Deep vein thrombosis.
There you go.
Yes.
Asor Thompson. That's the angry one, isn't it?
Amen Thompson's the one that spiked Tyler Herro on his
he's
head.
the angry one. Okay. And Brandon Ingram have returned to the court within a few months. Those are the only
Within a few months, like at the end of the season.
No, one of them was March to November next season.
Okay, so he was done for the season.
Yeah, and Ingram in 2019 returned to play. Next following season as well.
Okay.
So even if it's a couple months, it's still just happening.
Yeah, because you have to take blood thinners, which it's a 6-month process.
And you can't travel on blood thinners. Man.
Albie says no Dame turned into Jimmy leaving. Tobin's fault.
What's worse? Not being able to travel or not being able to travel out of Milwaukee?
Oof.
That's actually a worse sentence.
Gets on the John Madden bus.
Oh man.
Take a break. 15 minutes of heat. Next.
Look like twins.
What happened?
Did you like that?
I didn't see it. What happened?
Okay, look, I'll put it back.
All right. Let me check it out.
I tried with blonde hair. Then this
Whoa!
one.
That one looks actually pretty good as far as like photoshopping.
Yeah, I tried really quickly, but I tried to match her skin tones, but you know.
Good.
Oh, hey,
that
no.
What?
First
First
of all,
this one, maybe?
Pretty good. You know
look
what?
like Samesies minus the
I know
mustache.
Leroy like that one. That was
This
okay.
one right here is that's a pretty good Photoshop job right there.
That basically happened. So.
Not the one with the big swole arms. That's like, yikes.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it would be funny.
I ain't gonna lie. If you gave me a hug with them arms, I'd be scared.
And I just noticed on that that lady's arm is a tattoo of Bret Michaels as well.
Yes, and then the shirt says it, lost boyfriend, I think.
Didn't he have a show back when like the Flavor of Love was out? Tila Tequila had a love show. I believe Bret Michaels had a love show as well.
He had a show.
So.
I don't know what it was about.
For the Love of Bret or something like that. I know it was on like VH1. That's the only reason that I know who he is, to be honest. Rock of Love. Yeah.
Rock of Love. There you go.
Isn't that the do they sing the song Every Rose Has a Thorn?
Yes, Every Rose. That's probably the only
And I think I saw Bret Michaels like 2 years ago.
Was he at Rockville?
He was in Tortuga.
Oh, yeah, you know, I think he was at Tortuga.
Mhm.
Did he see Tua there? Partying his ass off?
I took this picture with Bret Michaels that day.
Look at that. Professional.
And you're like, I like that headband. I'm gonna go with that look.
Not the same one.
Like it's a shame because J-Fig will do some new stuff. She'll wear a new outfit or something. The response is not what you would expect from us three bums.
I hear it all, to be honest. Never a dull moment.
Bird better watch out. 15 minutes of heat here brought to you by Hollywood Kia. At Hollywood Kia, the #1 Kia dealer in all of Florida. Get the star treatment. We want to see you in a Hollywood Kia. Visit them online at hollywoodkia.com. The great Alexander Volkanovski going to join us here in just a few minutes. We'll talk some UFC 314 in the Heat's house.
Are you hyped, dude? You don't seem hyped.
I'm very hyped.
Come on.
I want to see if he's going to be there, even though I know he's a kind of a Nuggets fan because he's friends with Jamal Murray. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's friends with Jamal Murray. Now, Jamal Murray is not Australian. He's Canadian. He just struck up a friendship.
So, question. Of all of the guys, would that be the equivalent to you being cool with Bobrovsky?
I
Just
think
random.
That's a little bit weirder.
Like, because you and Bobrovsky have had a relationship unlike any other two people in South Florida, even when things were going not so great.
Yes.
So would you say it's kind of one of those things? Or
yeah, I think it's one of those athlete. I know Jamal Murray's a big UFC fan. I think that's probably where it started.
Okay.
And then, you know, some of these guys, they like to interact. A lot of fighters and athletes are fascinated by the way others train and things like that.
I would say I'm friends with Antonio Tarver just so we can match trash talking skills.
He can talk trash. One of the best.
Yeah.
One of the best.
And that's all we do when we golf. Of course, if he's not on the phone. Oh, my goodness. And
Tonight.
Once you win a title, your name is champ forever, right?
Yeah.
There's like 4 boxers I call champ.
Of course. Once you get it, once you're champ, you're champ. I think that's the way it should go. By the way, congratulations to Micky Arison, who was named to the Basketball Hall of Fame this past weekend. With Carmelo Anthony and Dwight Howard.
It's a mini mellow. It's a mini mellow.
Micky Arison named to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
That is perfect. That commercial is unbelievable. I laugh at it all the time.
You get the giggles.
Oh,
Makes
yeah.
you happy.
Oh yeah.
Fancy.
Does tickle his fancy. But congratulations to Micky Arison for making the Hall of Fame.
I would say this.
Being inducted with that class.
As far as well-run organizations, you always mention the Heat.
Mhm.
Always. Across, you might go, in football, you go, what? Patriots. Then you go Pittsburgh, maybe.
Yep.
I would maybe Green Bay has always been well run.
I think so.
Yeah. Can we think of any? Kansas City has always been up there too.
Yeah.
Like they very rarely have down years.
Oddly enough, though, their owner seems to be pretty hated amongst players, which is a weird thing.
Every year, last place.
Yeah, they always get like bad reviews. They always
Right.
get bad reviews from the way that they treat their players.
But is that because
I would say is the opposite of the way the Heat?
A lot of this has to do with like the original owners,
Maybe, I don't know.
right? Because when you think of Kansas City, you think of Pittsburgh. They're all teams that really, try to avoid paying players.
Well, I think
to be
that
honest with you.
Mickey had the quote when he got the nomination. He goes like, "I think the best owners are invisible." And he's like, "I hire people to do their job, and I let them do their job."
And I think, you know what? We all know who Mickey is, and everybody talks about Mickey. And when there's some kind of dispute between Pat and a player, Mickey will step in. But for the most part, you never hear the owner came over the top with this one. You never hear that. And maybe it's because you got Pat, right?
Yeah. I mean, Pat had a huge, obviously getting Pat here was a huge feather in Mickey's cap. And I mean, rocked what this team means in this market.
Right.
Before that, they were just, expansion, just an
Right.
expansion franchise. And
Is there any other franchise that we can think of some of them have famous owners, and that in itself is kind of an issue when your owner's famous, right?
I mean, newly right now, it seems like what the Suns are going through, this Ishbia.
Well, no, I'm talking about, but he's not. I'm talking about like Jerry Jones. I'm talking about Mark Cuban. I'm talking about
about Ballmer. Think he's too much.
No, they're not doing bad, and he's a cheerleader, but I haven't heard any stories of him coming over the top.
Yeah,
with what I want, or him always being the mouthpiece for the team. Like Mickey very rarely talks about the team. You always go through Pat.
Yeah, he's almost zero. Like even his media session, I think was 3 questions. Like you could just tell. He said, "I'm uncomfortable with all this."
Right. So I mean, yeah, like listen,
Jerry Jones is having a press conference every 30 seconds.
Right. You know who else is starting to take that Mickey is our guy Stephen Ross.
Yeah, he definitely. He stepped on it a few times trying to compare himself to the Heat.
Well, he's also very awkward at these things for a guy who's as successful as he is. Like the talking in front of is sometimes he
gets a little too hyperbolic.
Yeah,
sure. Right. Alexander Volkanovski main eventing this upcoming Saturday, UFC 314. He joins us next.
Beginning
Welcome back in, everybody. Very excited to talk to our next guest. This man is main eventing in the Heat's house coming up on Saturday at the Kaseya Center. He is trying to reclaim the featherweight champion, maybe the best to ever do it in this weight class. Alexander Volkanovski taking on Diego Lopes. Volk, thank you so much for the time, man. Really appreciate you.
No worries at all. Thanks for having me.
It's exciting to have you down here. How have you liked your first days here in the city?
It's been good. So I haven't been able to see too much just yet. Been getting the sessions in. We just got in yesterday, but I got a session in. Got to eat some of the food around here and that, which is good. Obviously, I'm limited to what I can eat, so I'll have to properly experience it all. Maybe during the week, but a little bit more afterwards because I really want to eat some of the food over here, and just maybe even a couple of drinks while I'm celebrating the victory. So I'll properly enjoy it afterwards.
You're still shark
strictly
diving?
business. Strictly business till then.
I understand. You got to keep the task at hand. You're still shark diving though. I see this on your Instagram. Like that's still a thing, man. I thought like you would have given that up by now. You're still going after those monsters.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're catching snakes, diving with sharks. You know what I mean? It's look, man. Obviously, if I thought there was a high possibility of me getting injured, I wouldn't do it. Right? A lot of people are like, oh man, he could get bitten. The chances of that are very, very slim. You know, I'm taking more risk getting into a car every day. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. With the snakes, yeah, it might bite you, but if you handle it right, it's all good.
But like, but Volk, is there a limit that you would go to? Like, is there? Like, are you going in? Would you ever go in a cage or tiger shark feeding or things like that? Or are you going in like kind of the Australian landscape of the water there? Everybody's afraid you're going to die when you just go around the corner down here in America. They think that you guys have monsters over there.
Man, it's not too bad. Look, we do get, I don't help with the snakes that I keep putting on my Instagram. Everyone thinks, you're walking into things that'll kill you everywhere as soon as you step on the ground in Australia. It ain't that, but we've got a lot of venomous sort of things. But yes, it's not too bad. They'll stay away most of the time.
After victory, do you plan on an Everglades tour? Get out here, see if you can wrestle some alligators down here in Florida?
I mean, I might go and check it out even during the week, man. Maybe over the weekend we might go suss it out. Maybe, would love to see the place. Like I said, I will experience a bit of Miami while I'm here. But yeah, I'd love to see that. That's one thing that I won't mess around with. Though I won't mess around with. I don't know what the alligators are like over here, but crocodiles back home. That's one thing that I won't ever take any risks with. I'll dive with sharks and stuff like this. You won't see me taking. Look, I've been in a cage with a crocodile around. I've done that, but I'll make sure that there's a cage because crocodiles, they'll just snatch you up. They don't care. You could raise them as a little baby. That thing is going to eat you 90 or 100% of the time if it has a chance.
What's I was watching that kind of what's farm life now? You bought a farm. What is that peaceful for you? What has this experience been like for you?
Very peaceful. It's incredible. It's awesome. To be able to go train, then go home, and obviously relax. It's hard for me to do. I wouldn't say hard, but I mean, it's not like you could just take the kids outside. And just go to the parks and you can, but I mean, it's hard for me to commit to all my energy and time to them. You're going to get a lot of people that are going to want to take some of the time, ask for things and all that, and I'm okay with. But it can get difficult sometimes. So I usually don't get out too much. But to be on the farm, to go there, obviously they're very peaceful. I can take the kids on the quad bike, kick a soccer ball with them, catch snakes with them. They're even handling the snakes with us as well. Just things like that. Get to properly enjoy my free time. You know what I mean? I'll still get out and about. That's the thing. When I know I'm out and about, all right, now I know and I can give my time to everybody. But it's good to know that I can fully invest my time to my family outside of the gym sometimes.
So this opportunity against Diego, there was probably a time, like you said, that you thought you were going to take on Ilia. But once you kind of flipped the switch and you knew that it was going to be a new challenge, how exciting is that in comparison to rematches? You're so familiar with rematches, and when you get somebody new to take on, like what kind of invigoration does that have for you training, just getting a new challenge to uncrack?
Yeah, man, it was at the start. Look, a few months ago, or even more, maybe like 5-6 months ago, if I would have been a lot more bummed if it wasn't Ilia, but it got to a point where I don't want to wait around anymore. If he wants to wait around, I don't know what he's doing. I'll do an interim then. Like, it got to a point where I just need to fight now. I've had a long enough break. I'm ready to get back in there. So that was easy for me to transition into the new opponent for it being Diego, because originally I wanted that rematch. I wanted that win back. But then it got to a point where anyone. And then I got the next best thing, right? Like Ilia doing his thing where he wants to move up. Full credit to him, and good on him for fully committing to that. I got the next best thing where I fight for a belt, the vacant belt, against another young, hungry, new generational type fighter, So I got the next best thing, if anything. And it come to a time where I was like, I would have taken an interim against anybody. You know what I mean? Now at least it's even better. You know what I mean? Like, it's for a vacant and against the right guy in Lopes, because there's a lot of hype around him. He's done some solid work, and he's that new generation dangerous fighter that a lot of people think I'm going to struggle against until I show them otherwise.
You've done and you've done that so well a lot, defending the belt up top. What's the thing you think people miss the most as far as like predicting or thinking how the fight's gonna go, like all the noise that you do here? Because obviously you have a lot more experience than him. You've been in there with higher caliber guys. So I guess out of all the chatter that's there, what's the thing that you think is the most inaccurate when it comes to people predicting this fight?
Yeah, I mean, like people, but the thing is, I know it's accurate. People can say, I believe that's inaccurate. Like, I know it's inaccurate. A lot of people are going to look at it. He's done. He's a lot older now. He's going to be slower. He's going to be chinny. Blah, blah, blah. They're going to say, and they have every right to think that. I'm coming off two KO losses, having a big break. I'm 36, turning 37 towards the end of the year. Everyone wants. Everyone's going to think that, and they're entitled to think that, and they have every right to think that. I don't blame them, but I know it's not the case, and I will change their mind next week. So, but they have every right to think that right now until I change it. And that's what I'm going to do.
I'm sure there's a lot of, you got to keep the focus on him, but a lot of people are excited about this Patricio Pitbull on your card as well, and all the work that he did at Bellator. And there was a lot of time where you were reigning, he was reigning in his promotion, and I know that speaking with him this week, he would be excited about that opportunity. What's that like as far as knowing another champion was in a promotion, but you never knew if you would ever cross paths with him, and now it's a possibility? How exciting is that door could be opened?
I mean, yeah, it is. Like, I never really looked into it too much because I never thought it was something that could happen. Obviously, he would bring the name up quite a bit, and I'll just be like, I didn't really care about it too much. But now it's cool actually to think of it, because right now my goal is I want to show everyone that I'm still better than the new generational fighters, right? Everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, it's evolving all the time. Alex is done. Right now, that's all I care about. So right now, the people fight doesn't make sense. I want to go out there, take out Diego. Then you got an undefeated guy like in Mosva. But but as I said, I want to be active. I want to have 3 fights this year. Then after that, Pitbull's a perfect fight. Like, you know what I mean? I could do that this year. Like, he doesn't even have to fight again. If he was to take out Yair in impressive fashion, his next fight probably is for the title. The fact that I'm going to be that active defending champion that I've always been, I'm going to do that again as soon as I get the belt back. These guys don't even have to fight. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep them busy enough. So perfect world is I can still take out the new school, and then I get to sort of have. It would have been hard for me to be like, I've got to fight some older dude. You know what I mean? But it makes sense because we were around the same time. As you said, like, he was a reigning champ over there. So it makes sense. There's still a storyline there. You know what I mean? So like, that'll be all right. For me right now, my goal is taking out the new school. So it'd be hard for me to just take him on right now. It's like, I feel like I'm not ticking that box. But if I'd go and do that, bang, that's perfect. You know what I mean? It would be hard for, let's say, Josh Emmett, right? That'd be harder for me. You know what I mean? But there's more of a story probably in Pitbull, and that's no knock on Josh Emmett, but I'm just saying, obviously he's older. He's one of the older fighters and whatnot. You get what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm trying to say what excites me. The new generation excites me. But that still does excite me, but just the timing of it. What I plan on doing, Diego, Mosvar, quick turnaround for Mosvar, and then let's do it to Pitbull if he was to win in impressive fashion. You know what I mean? Like that's 2025 for me, perfect world.
If I could just go back to the Ilia thing just for a second, you know, one of the things that people do love about you is that you did hold down the division and you took on Max, even though I'm sure you were sick of beating Max all the time, and everybody who earned it. Just as a guy who held the crown for so long, not getting that crack and him going away because he says he couldn't make the weight anymore. But like, what is your thought on that? That, you know, you win a championship. Isn't there some semblance of a responsibility to defend?
I mean, well, that's how I've always looked at it. You know what I mean? It felt like it was a responsibility, and I still think it is. And that's why, even though it was, you know, like at one point I was like, found it hard when I, you know, wasn't, you know, because of responsibility. It was more than that. There's a bit more of a story that I found. So a lot of people be like, oh, maybe he wouldn't want to do that because of him being in that spot, coming 2 losses for being so competitive. Nah, that's what it takes. I had the break. Now I'm ready to do that again. I feel like that is the responsibility of a champion. I want to be that same guy that everyone remembers. You know, I want, you know, people can say company man, right? Like, yeah, I'll be that company man. I'll be that the fan favorite because they love it as well. And not only that, for my legacy and for me successfully, financially, all that sort of stuff, and my timing, being active is, you know what I mean, is perfect for me right now. But for him doing, look, man, I got no grudge. At least he's not trying to hang on to the belt while he does that and be difficult in that sense. So full credit to him for actually committing. Some people probably wouldn't. He's committing and taking on. You know, if you're going to do it, he's legit committed to it. So, you know, you can't knock him for that. But, I mean, that's obviously something that I do still want. Perfect world. While he does that, I don't know when he's looking at fighting. If he was to go fight, imagine the rematch after, I'd say, my 2025 year, and say he's successful, and 2026 we have the rematch. Imagine if we're both champion and have the rematch then. Woo!
I love that thing about you,
man.
Man.
It don't get much better than that. So you know what I mean? Like, there it is. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe that's where it's going.
Before we get you out of here, Alexander Volkanovski, he's going to be fighting at Kaseya Center coming up on Saturday. UFC 314 against Diego Lopes for the featherweight championship. Will you catch? I know you know your friendship with Jamal Murray, which hurt me a little bit during the finals a couple of years ago. He hit like every big shot in that series. But will you catch any Heat games? There's a couple of Heat games here while you're here. Does that interest you at all as far as the activities you may go, or too much noise there?
Yeah, no, it would. It definitely would. Like, even get into a few sports. Like, while we've got time, when we have time, it'll be good to do that. So, because we're fighting. Do you know? Just want to confirm. You know, I'm pretty sure because I originally thought I'll be fighting a lot later. Do you know what time it is exactly? I'm about to get this confirmation soon. Anyway,
the fight or the game?
No, my fight. No. Sorry, the fight.
I think like the last 2 cards, you guys went pretty late. Like it went, you know, it was still like touching like midnight, and I remember getting out of there super late. Like when Izzy had his knockout and the Cheeto sugar fight.
I thought it was after. Okay, so that's what tricked me. I thought that I wasn't fighting till like 1:30 a.m. or something, but I don't think it's that late. So
it won't be that late. It won't be that late.
That's why I was like, I might stay awake as long as possible till like 2 a.m. or I'm going to figure it out exactly, which I am doing anyway, just so I know I'm, awake at the fight time. And then that gives me a lot of time during the night to maybe go to some basketball games and all that. So, but if it is going to be around 11:30-ish or closer to midnight, maybe that gets in the way. Maybe it's going to make it harder to get to the games. But I'm about to confirm that out today. And then yeah, I just assumed it was because it was Vegas time, so I assumed that it'd be around after 1 o'clock or something. But I'm hearing otherwise now.
Volk, appreciate the time, man. We can't wait to watch a fight. Go check them out. Get your tickets now at the Kaseya Center or buy it on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Thank you so much, man, for the time, Volk. This was a thrill.
No worries, mate. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All righty, take care.